Yo, yo, yo. The 2,000 subscriber Dynasty Daddy special. We are 10 days away. Is that true? 9? Is it 9 days? Because it'll be the Thursday. I think we're 9 days away from the NFL draft.
9 days away.
The next live stream, next Tuesday night, will be the beautiful preview. It'll be the Christmas Eve stream. Man, I'm pumped. I'm looking forward to it. I get to. Anybody else in the chat? I need to know. Do you guys watch the terrible draft day movie yearly, right before the NFL draft? Because I do. It's a tradition. I make my wife sit and watch it with me, and she does some work and she doesn't pay attention, but it's a special moment for me every year to watch that.
I'll be honest, I've never seen draft day
ever,
and I feel like
this year
the amount of people I've heard be like, "You haven't seen draft day? You're not going to send 3 first-round picks for a running back and then send it back or whatever." But I do feel like I need to watch it to get into spirits. You know,
it's a must. Yeah. It's like a Christmas movie, you know? Like you watch Christmas movies around Christmas time. Like you'll watch the Charlie Brown Halloween special around Halloween.
Charlie Brown, Frosty, the Heat Miser one.
Is there another good like NFL draft related movie? I think that was the one that like had all the like Goodell's in it, and they had all the NFL, Berman and all these guys.
I need like a Moneyball for football. We should just do
not expect
a parody.
Moneyball if you're watching the draft.
You should get like there
we go.
You know how they did the Glenn Howerton like BlackBerry business comedy movie?
The Steve
I haven't
Jobs
seen it. I heard it's good, but I want like a Moneyball parody for like, the Cleveland Browns when they brought in, I forgot their GM's name. That's like, we're going to Moneyball the NFL.
Oh.
And like, they get all genius. And they're like, let's trade everything for Deshaun Watson. Like that, they just need that as like a comedy Moneyball for the Cleveland Browns, trying to understand analytics. Or Mike McCarthy being like, I understand analytics. I have a PFF subscription.
This is a Moneyball movie on fantasy managers. It's kind of tough because I think the fantasy, you almost have to kind of take the full-on comedy angle of... Well,
they had The League, right?
The League. I totally was blanking on the sitcom.
The thing that the League missed on was it wasn't a Dynasty League. Yeah, like that... So it's just like, you're like, wait a minute, why am I what are these characters? Like, why am I watching this? It's like, I forgot about they're in a fantasy league.
I don't know
like,
if the pitch...
Dynasty League, it would have been nonstop. Like, and I do agree. I know I cut you off, but you're going to be like, I don't know if Dynasty was that big back in the day. And I do think when they pitched it, Dynasty wasn't as much of a format.
Trouble with the curve. Okay. That's a baseball one. Right? Is that a draft related? I'm not a baseball guy. I'm going to be honest, guys. I watch the Tigers if they're in the playoffs, but and I'll go to the game, enjoy a dog, do the wave 7th inning stretch. But
baseball is great in person.
Yeah.
But other than that, and I will say pitch clock. I watched the playoffs sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I have some friends that are very into baseball, and they're like, Jeremy, you need to get into baseball. They have so many analytics. I'm just like. I'm like, football takes too much of my time already. I can't. Between like football and then like basketball, like I enjoy basketball. That's just what happens when you're, grew up in North Carolina, when you had Chapel Hill, Duke, and NC State. You're like, it's nonstop March Madness. Like, you got to like basketball. So baseball just never was near Charlotte. So I just never had a team to really root for.
Yeah, I feel like I can only do one, like fantasy related specifically. Like I do fantasy basketball, but I can only do one. Like that is even... That's a long season. Like when I'm so in tuned with like NFL, like I think NFL is the perfect fantasy of like the week-long break where you can kind of digest the week. Basketball is just every night, waiver claims, check in. But all right, enough yapping. I got the chat ready. Mac McDaddy, is that it?
The 2K stream special. We're talking baseball.
Exactly. Mac McDaddy, I wasn't quick enough on the stream setup, so we've got you pulled up. Oh, what the? Whoa! All right, I got still unlocked there. We'll get to you, Mac McDaddy. I'll figure that out. Populk E. Wow, Populk 23 10 teams start 2 of everything. Okay. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, probably the most interesting
kickers
aspect of that. So what would that be? Let me do the math.
a kicker premium league.
That's is that a start 8? 4 positions? Quarterback, running back,
I mean,
wide
it
receiver, tight end?
depends.
10
It
teams start 8?
depends. Like, is there flexes? Is it 2 flexes? Because it would be start 10. I assume it's a 10 team. It'd probably be start 10.
I think if it's start
At
2 of
least.
everything,
10 teams start 8.
I'm kind of picturing it as 10 teams start 8, but we can let us know. Okay, 2 flexes as well. So start 10. There you go.
There we go.
All right. 10 team, start 10. Start 2 of everything. Just traded away Daniel Jones, Bucky, Olave, Garrett Wilson, and got Burrow, the 103 and the 105. Ooh, okay.
So it is shallow, right? You only start 80 players that matter in this format.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's hard for me. I think for me, I'd probably take the package you gave up. If I'm doing the reality check, you know, you wake up with the hangover and you're like, what the hell happened? Because my point would be, unless the format is interesting with the quarterback scoring, in a 10-team league, you're only starting 20 quarterbacks a week, and the gap between like Burrow and the replacement level is not going to be as significant if it was a 12-team or something like that, or 14. So you're trading the tier up, and I know Daniel Jones is like kind of a mystery bag at this point, but you do like the Bucky, Olave, Garrett Wilson. Those are just 3 solid shots at positions that matter in this format. Most likely, you're going to running back, wide receiver, tight end are going to be the positions I really want to invest in this type of league. I'm okay saying I don't need to pay for the consolidation at quarterback. That's how I would approach it. Now, getting the 103, the 105.
I'm interrupting with some context here.
Insurance. Okay.
You get a bonus for 300-yard passing, and then you also get 10? This is saying 10 point. I almost want to like refute 10-point bonus for 100 yards rushing or receiving. That seems like kind of wild. I've never seen that high of a bonus. Like if we're talking normal PPR scoring. 10 points.
I mean, how many? I guess there's not a ton of 300-yard games.
I mean, Burrow's
quarterback.
Burrow's definitely the
quarterback
you'd put up there. Yeah, I mean, if it's as excessive, but then I mean, in the same right, I mean, Olave and Garrett Wilson are probably on the edge of like wide receivers you'd be comfortable. High scoring. All right, I'm probably getting a little too dizzy on this one because I do think like if we're kind of canceling these out, like if these are generally like normal bonuses that you would have for like big play or big game bonuses for 100 yards rushing, receiving, or passing, then I do kind of like the shots of Garrett Wilson and Olave. Not that I love them to be hitting the 100-yard threshold, but more so than the 103 and 105, for the next 2 seasons for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're walking out with Tyson and Tate or something like that, like it's not a bad combo, but I want to make sure like both Olave and Wilson have a decent chance of hitting that 10-point bonus. And if I have multiple shots every single week of a guy consistently in the range of getting 100 yards and getting that 10-point bonus, I'm going to probably prefer that.
All right, I'm going to give you 2 quick questions just because I feel bad about how dizzy I got on this. So let me hit you with 2 things. One, if we pulled up the WAR for this league and the QB was higher than like the normal league, so I'm not going to say like right in line with running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends, just because based off of this, I wouldn't expect that, but just like slightly lower. Would you be a little bit more inclined to take the Burrow side and the pick packages just because of that difference that Burrow would give you versus other quarterbacks because it's 300 yards passing specifically? Because I feel like he's the one quarterback that you would kind of slot in as, best chance to throw a 300-yard passing game.
Yeah, it's like him or like maybe Stafford or like the 2 that you would probably consider they're going to throw a ton. And I do think that does make it a little bit more palatable, but I think the additional thing we're talking about is like, there's also Bucky that we're not talking about.
Right.
And it's like I like the wide receivers in this class, but I don't think any of the wide receivers in this class are probably the same tier as Garrett Wilson and Olave were as prospects. So I'm sitting there, I'm like,
Yeah.
unless if I'm doing a complete like rebuild on this team where I'm like, give me the future picks. I'm going to trade all these guys and try to cash out some good value. I would rather just say it's probably a shallow league. Olave, Garrett Wilson, Bucky, all are going to have decent shots at hitting on some of those big bonuses versus consolidating all my shots into that one bet of Burrow and then hoping that, the 103, the 105, I can at least get some guy that can get startable minutes for me. And I think you will, like, in a league like this, you're probably, the 105 probably will be like Mendoza or Tyson because it's the 10 team. So I don't know how the QB market is.
Yeah. The QB market's interesting with this because I do feel like, and I was about to say that, like the QB market is probably a big impact on how you view this trade and let those picks specifically with where Mendoza would go. But I do think the other side of the coin is like Bucky, Olave, Wilson, are I think interesting enough assets on the other side to where if you needed to fix your quarterback position, like those, you're okay coming to the table with those plus a Daniel Jones type to make that upgrade happen. So I kind of like the flexibility of the other side too.
Yeah.
All right, I did figure it out. Mac McDaddy Pro. Hopefully you didn't leave us.
Mac McDaddy.
Shout out to Paul for Pure Potential was on the stream last week, but Will gets dizzy with the overlays when we've got 3 people. I'm gonna be honest, but I think we fixed it. We're good now. What's y'all's vibe with
That's
CMC?
what we're gonna bring 4 people on. We're gonna make it wild.
2,000 subscriber special. 2,500 subscriber special. I've been debating trading him. So trading CMC plus a little something for a guy like Brees or Judkins, or is he a contending hold till he dies? Additional context, do you guys all see the video of CMC crawling across his yard? Very important to this question.
Yeah, he looked possessed. He looked possessed.
I definitely moved him up half a spot in my rankings when I saw that. All right, what are your thoughts? I think
I'm like, he's back.
The concept of like this kind of adding on to CMC to like get a longer term bet at the running back position is really interesting to me because I do, as a former Brees lover, as a guy who loves Judkins, I think the 1 year production bet is just such a wide margin for me between CMC and those guys. So trading for a running back, Brees is, this is the franchise tag year. So I think there's like a little bit of upside hope there, but still, are you just holding on to
it's 4 letters, man. It's JETS. When am I going to bet on the Jets?
I do think. Would you add on to CMC to move to any of those guys?
I don't think so. I think CMC is kind of Derrick Henry. The issue is like the floor is a lot lower than Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, knock on wood, has never really gotten hurt before and is consistently putting up impactful seasons. But Christian McCaffrey, when he plays, is RB1 of RB1s. He's,
the role is insane.
Prime LT numbers. Yeah, and it's just like, okay, like I'll risk it.
Shanahan can't help
himself. Why would I
himself.
put a plus on that?
Yeah. It is not just like the insane like PPR scam volume that you get, the elite plus receiver out of the backfield, but like the goal line role too. Even with Brian Robinson there last season, like he still dominated that. Like it is just an insane role and a good offense. You have Evans there now, but still, that almost I think is going to open things up even more for CMC 7-8 targets a game. It's just really hard for me to move off of that. A very different type of receiver than CMC is. And I think you just go down with the ship with CMC and you say, hey, the Achilles pops week 2, and you're like, man, I should have traded it for Judkins. Sure, but you know what sucks is trading him and he drops 33 points per game, and you're like, well, like I guess I traded the number 1 wide receiver because his age and history was like. If you already have a decent contending team, you hold on. Now, if you're a team that's like fading, like older team or a team that is rebuilding, absolutely feel free to move off of him. But if you're like solidly in the mix, no player, like not even Gibbs or Bijan is going to be consistently putting up the numbers that CMC does. Like the usage is ridiculous. Yeah. There's some like I was thinking about the plus you would have to add on like for the other side. like when you're talking about adding a plus, because the point I was going to make is like if you're adding like a future second or something onto CMC to feel better about the running back position, I'd rather just ride out CMC and then I get to use that second in the future. Like, I mean, as a Brees guy, I hate saying stuff like this, but there's a real chance that second that you use on a running back buy is similar enough production to what Brees on the Jets, will give you.
No, you can't say that. You can't say that.
I'm saying it's a 70% chance.
No, you can't
for
say that. No.
For that, I'm holding on to CMC. Chuba Hubbard or something. No, that's Oh, I got to move past it. I'm making last year Will too sad. 10-team, what's up, Tyler? 10-team start 8. Traded the 210 and Blake Corum for, what are we doing here? Banger. 210 and Blake Corum for Zay Flowers. It's a shallow league. 10-team start 8. Dude, the 210 in this class in a 10-team start 8. Blake Corum? I mean, Blake Corum, I get like trying to acquire Blake Corum types in these shallow leagues because it's like when he starts, like Kyron's out for a week, bang, I'm slotting him into the lineup. But come on, dude. Zay Flowers. Easy. I would do a late
this
first.
Is a solid plug into our buys videos with on the thumbnail Zay Flowers. And I mean, this is such a cheap price, and this is the reason we, especially Will, gave a amazing the pre-recorded segment. 80% was just Will talking about Zay Flowers, and then we were like, he talked about him for 30 minutes straight. He had to kind of chop it up a little bit, but. Yeah, I mean, Zay Flowers is such an easy buy for the production that he's going to get. He's not going to get replaced by any role, especially with likely gone. You also, Mark Andrews is regressing. And even if they bring in somebody like a Tyson Tate, like no one's going to just ether Zay Flowers in terms of usage. So, I mean, I think that the scariest one would be somehow they get like Mekhi Lemon. And then you're like, okay, these are kind of similar wide receiver guys. But
yeah. And I spoke to it.
Such a cheap bet.
Spoiler alert, I just put the thumbnail on the screen if you guys have not checked out the 4 players to buy now. But I think this wide receiver class is deep enough, like that kind of, third tier of receivers. And I think Baltimore, you just hired a defensive minded head coach. I think they've got issues on both sides of the line. Like it would surprise me for them to take one of those receivers. And I don't know. We'll see how high Tate and those guys go, but it's possible that there's only one of them available at that pick. Yeah. All right. That was an easy one. We spent too much time on that one. I'm not going to make a skull lightning mode yet. Let us know. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys want to do a mock draft? Mods, start a poll. We don't have mods, and I don't know how to start a poll. I'll figure it out. Let us know. Say type 1 if you want to do a mock draft. Ricky Mock. We'll definitely do one next week though, for sure. Leading into the NFL draft. All right.
I'm going to give a shout out to Kobe White. He's saving my season right now.
Oh, what's the score? If you guys are not aware, you got the Panthers football in the back there. Hornets are playing the Heat right now for the play-in.
I don't have much Hornets gear because the Hornets haven't been relevant in a major sport in probably my entire lifetime.
Have the Panthers?
But
the Panthers made the playoffs last year.
Okay.
Lions
Super Bowls. How many Super Bowls have the Lions been in, buddy?
Go ahead.
How many Super Bowls have the Lions been in? But we were down by like 9, or it's like 6 points, and Kobe White just was going off. So if you see me making random faces, it's going to be just the Hornets shooting threes or absolutely bricking it up.
It's LaMelo knocking out another Heat player, grabbing his ankle. It's
Yeah,
gonna be the next phase.
Got to watch your ankles.
For all the card, I've not been a big sports card guy. I do have the Josh Allen card here. I keep that thing on me. But Topps Chrome NFL 2025 releases tomorrow. 2K in cards. Dang. Best of luck. Post what you get.
I got some old Pokemon cards.
Oh, let's go. I've got
Those are the only ones
This is a $1 Cade Cunningham card. Let's go.
Oh, that's gonna be worth something.
It's gonna be worth $2 after he gets Finals MVP. All right. Oh, I did the click off. My bad, Kyle. Actually, I clicked off Kyle to click on another Kyle message though. So not too bad. All right, 10 team. Am I crazy for putting Mendoza at the 110? in a shallow league, super flex still. How late would you say I get it? Pre-draft.
Pre-draft.
I think you like the realistic outcomes for Mendoza.
Maybe 108 would be the latest I'd push. Because I could see someone liking Casey Concepcion. I could see Kenyon Sadiq, especially in tight end premium.
Yeah.
I could see, maybe Eli Stowers if he gets higher, if they're tight end premium strong enough, or if there's another wide receiver like Omar Cooper or something that, people buy into. But I honestly think the only guy I would probably, if this tight end premium significant, I'd probably say 107 or 106. But I still think in a 10 team, like a quarterback, like after the 3 wide receivers, Love and Kenyon Sadiq, it's you just got to take your medicine sometimes. And you're like, okay, I got a guy that's going to start for 2-3 years and be all right. And that's fine. Like that's good uses of a 106, 107, even in a 10 team.
I'd probably be curious of like what, like if you're thinking of like realistic outcomes, like what you've been able to move like Dak, Jordan Love for, and then like all the way down to like Sam Darnold midseason, like when you had a stretch of good games, like what those quarterbacks could have moved for in the league. That's kind of how I would parse him in like a shallow, like if it's a 10 team start 8 or start 9. But even then, like, man, quarterbacks too. Some people feel comfy about 3 quarterbacks, even in these shallow 10 team starts. Like I feel like every time I bring up trading a third quarterback, I think people get queasy. So I know people like having the bye week hits. You got a quarterback to slot in. Your roster isn't full of backup quarterbacks, and the league market isn't crazy and wild enough and active enough that you can move, thirds and fourths for Joe Flacco's and Mac Jones's and, Davis Mills that are starting each week.
Yeah, and I will say too, like there is the world where like Jadarian Price or like Jonah Coleman, like one of these running backs gets crazy draft capital, and then you're like, of course I'll take him over. Mm-hmm. But I just don't see in this draft class there being enough of guys that the draft changes our idea of how they should be valued over the 101 pick. He's guaranteed to go to the Raiders and be the first pick. That level of investment is hard to ignore.
All right. I'm ready for this one. 14 team start 10. What would you need on top of T. Higgins to trade away London? And let's go straight to the trade database. I've got Drake London, T. Higgins, 4 max asset counts typed in, 5 trades here. Let's start this one. This is an interesting one. T. Higgins and Travis Etienne on the Saints for Drake London.
It's a 12 team London there.
Okay. What about?
I was looking at
this one's interesting. What about
the trade calculator? I was just curious what the recommended player to add, and saying the 105, which I'm like, I kind of get it, right? T. Higgins 105 to tier up to that kind of bottom elite tier wide receiver. I feel like that's a pretty fair adjustment. Now, obviously, what happens in the market is different, but continue. I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought the 105 was an interesting.
No, I like that
range.
Apparently, I wasn't ready, guys. That's what Jeremy's telling me. That
no, that's all I was saying. I'd like to trade database.
Yeah, mid 26 first. You got AJ Brown. These like older quarterbacks, Goff, Chuck. The one that was kind of interesting. Let's see. Every time I try to, it was Judkins on the T side. T. Higgins and Judkins, or Drake London and Chris Rodriguez. This one's pretty shallow though. 12 by 9. This is a shallower league.
12 by 9.
But in the context of a 14 team start 10, would that be enough of you to move off of Drake London?
I think in a 14 team, just locking in 2 starters that you feel good about. In a 12 team start 9 though, I think this definitely a London side. But 14 team, you just kind of need anyone with a pulse.
So you would take the 105 side, or do you think that's like the fair line of like?
I think that's the
confident
fair
enough in the 5 picks
ish line. Like there's like this one that's like the 107 in T. Higgins. But I don't think I would take the 107 in T. Higgins. Maybe in a 14 team, because the 107 is probably like KC or someone like that is probably still a relevant-ish flex option. But like the Judkins role, I would feel so good about, okay, cool, I have Judkins to slot into whatever's going on there.
All right, huge exam Friday for Kyle. Let's go. Send the good vibes to Kyle. Study hard.
You got this, Kyle.
But study hard after hanging out on the Dynasty Daddy live stream trade show. It's on Friday. You got a couple days. All right, 10 by 10 PPR, 0.5 tight end premium, 0.1 point per carry. Allen, Hurts, CMC, Gibbs, Achane, Puka, Amon-Ra, JJ, McBride, Darnold. All right, the Barner did not need to be in there, but maybe it does if you're talking about you don't have a strong tight end room.
The Darnold Barner stack
behind McBride. RBs on bench, 103, 104, and my 27 first, and miscellaneous lower 26 picks. Lost in the ship last year. What should I do with my 103 and 104 this year? Targets? Question mark. I mean, it's kind of a sweet spot to be in.
If you did a redraft of the entire league, you might have half the first round.
I have one,
like Puka, Gibbs.
I got one team
Hurts.
like that, and I haven't bragged about it in a while. Maybe later today, if you guys are good, I'll show you my one pay to brag team.
The will pay to brag.
I think the one nice part. I mean, okay, so 10 by 10. The one interesting part about this is you don't really need, I don't even think I need to do the consolidation thing. And the 103 and 104 I like enough to not try to push to trying to get 27 first. So what do you like more? Do you like taking with this kind of team, you're taxi squatting the, 2 rookie wide receivers that you can take at that spot, or Mendoza with one of those picks? Or would you like some kind of moving to 2027 first to just have one, you get bets on potentially early picks because your team is insane and top contender. You're not getting the 112 with or the 110 even with those picks. So in a shallower league, you get closer to the top 5 there. What do you like?
Yeah,
more?
I mean, I think ideally I try to move one at least to can I move the 104 to a random mid 27 just to give me the flexibility of okay, player X goes down. Now I can have an extra pick to go out and buy a replacement here. But, I mean, I think worst comes to worst, you just draft those wide receivers and someone's probably going to be interested in them, week 5, week 7 when you need to move them or use them. And that this is kind of oh no, I'm suffering from success. Everything's going right for me. I certainly think the best move would be sick. Let me just can I get a mid 27 that has some upside of being early, and then take one of those early shots and say maybe I can even hit on additional youth that gives me the flexibility to trade one of my wide receivers or trade that guy on my taxi squad.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I think they're similar type of bets in terms of trading for future first for flexibility in the season versus the wide receivers that you would pick there. I guess if you don't have a QB3, the Mendoza value pick of a first overall franchise quarterback, Mendoza's been growing on me a lot.
They got Darnold though.
Oh, I totally forgot down there next to Barner. I saw Barner over there and I kind of blacked out those names. Then yeah, you don't even need to do that. Yeah, so
I just love the list. The list of just stud.
That's insane.
Barner.
That actually might be mine's a 12-team start time. We won't go there yet. We got real.
We'll have to have
real
a team off. We'll have to have a team off. Which
we'll go bar
which
for
team
bar.
do you like more?
Appreciate the feedback. Appreciate you.
Go team for team.
W, thanks you. Thanks y'all. All right, Fenny off to Henny. Need advice on a trade. Being offered Harold Fannin and a 28 second for Pitts and a 28 first. For additional context, I do have multiple firsts for that year. So for 2028 specifically. I feel like we're getting some nervous Harold Fannin vibes. A pretty unique role. The Browns are pretty commonly mocked to draft a receiver. You got a new head coach. And there was a Kenyon Sadiq top 30 visit. I don't know if you saw that for the
Ooh.
Browns. So I think there's like all those like little things that are kind of poking at the, Harold Fannin evaluation for next year and him kind of being vaulted into that top 5. Yeah. Are you but are you doing this 2028 as well? I'd want to know the tight end premium.
I think I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
How good is Harold Fannin? How much better is Harold Fannin than Kyle Pitts? And me being like, yeah, I'll take your future in 2028. And who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what will happen in 2028? Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know what it will be like when we get there. And the fact that
0.5 10 premium,
you get that pick, so much can go crazy. And Harold Fannin, it's not like you're trading Trey McBride or someone, that is irreplaceable in that format. So to me, I'm just, give me the first. I have the Kyle Pitts. I can probably get a bunch of other Kyle Pitts tier tight ends and just live with starting and stopping whatever tight end that's hot and not have to ride the rookie hype that Harold Fannin has, because the 28 first is just so flexible. And, if it goes well, you might get an early 28 first and be drafting, Peyton Manning's son or something.
What's the, I know, so we got 0.5 10 in premium. How many starters and how many teams? Is this like a 12 by 10, 12 by 9? Yeah, it's tough. I feel like I'm an upside junkie. I don't know if that's a, what would you label yourself as generally in Dynasty? Are you a value hunter? Are you an upside junkie? Are you a Dynasty Daddy?
I think I'm I think the more I play, the more just like a Dynasty nihilist.
Damn.
I'm like there's 10 players that matter, and outside of that, I'll just swap whichever side gives me value a lot of times. I'm
That's
just
fair.
Okay, cool. Harold Fannin, Kyle Pitts,
9.
I don't even have a need of tight end. I get the value upside. Sure. If you want to bet that Harold Fannin's better, go for it. I'll just bet that he's not and take the leverage.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I do think it's kind of like kind of a value mindset, but I apply it to the majority of players until you hit guys like CMC, where you're like, okay, if I'm a contender and I have CMC, he gets hurt or something, I'll just live with it, because that's just a reality. I can't buy that production anywhere else.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn. So 12 by 9 is interesting too. There's some 12 by 9s where first round picks carry weight, because it does feel like, 12 by 9s, everybody just tries to push a bunch of junk together to get up to your players that actually matter. But first round picks do kind of feel like the asset that doesn't feel like junk, because it is the mystery box of think back to all the top end Dynasty assets that came out of this last rookie class, right? Tyler Warren, Colson Loveland, Buka,
we don't even know the 2028 class yet.
Yeah,
because 2027 is such a hype, but it's a wall of hype. Everyone's 2027's the last year the NFL draft will matter. There is every player in the draft is going to be amazing. Half of them are going to go back to school. Mm-hmm. We see that every year now. 2028 is going to be loaded. You're going to want those picks. I just, to me, it's we don't know enough about 2028 for me to feel confident that Kyle Pitts plus the 2028 first is not the better side. So I feel like it's just easy.
Yeah. All right. Some additional context here. If you're asking me, I'm just a value hunter. For example, I currently have CD, Neighbors, London, Zay Flowers. I don't need all of them, but I got value to trade for them. Yeah. And two, I think this is probably a little bit of a league market trade too, where how you feel about what first round picks carry. So because you have multiple firsts in 2028, do you feel like, I can tack on 2 firsts and a player and, interesting enough player and get to Gibbs and Bijan and kind of build the super team through that versus holding on to Fannin in this specific trade. So if you feel confident that, stacking these first round picks with these kind of moves where you're still getting a decent enough tight end bet in Kyle Pitts and tacking a first round pick on, if that'll let you do those kind of crazy super team Bijan Gibbs buys with your multiple firsts in these 12x9 leagues, then I'm all for it. I won't push my upside junkie agenda on you.
I don't know if the format was mentioned.
0.5 tight end premium. So definitely not juicy enough where I would push too hard.
There's only 10 or 12, 28 first round picks, most likely. So the scarcity there is going to be valuable. And I will say, we are about 10, 12 days away from someone sending a trade that's like trading their 2029 first round pick.
Wow. Dang.
And I just thought about that.
Do you have any rules?
I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Do you have any rules in any of your leagues that were kind of, most of the leagues I play in, you are either you're already paying a year in advance or you're paying out to the year of, picks that you traded away. So like if you've traded a 2028 first, you've paid for that year of the league. You have any weird league rules against that where it's like you can't trade out a certain number of years? Or is
my home league, we had like you can't trade back-to-back years or whatever. And then like after 1 year, everyone's like, "Yeah, this rule sucks." Like no one wants to do it. Yeah, like you trade one first round pick, you're like screwed.
That's kind of like the beautiful. That's a beautiful thing about Dynasty is like the flexibility on both sides to like totally know you're screwing yourself over by like trading your firsts and stuff for Mike Evans and Devontae Adams, but just kind of acknowledging the bet you're making.
Trying to give it one run.
And people on the other side going to take advantage of it. Like that's what I think is like the best side of Dynasty. There are some safeguards that need to be put in place though for people that would abuse.
Well, yeah, I mean it was like a new league. Like no one else has played Dynasty. We're like, okay, we can't have like some clown trade away 3 first round picks and then be like, I stink at this. I traded 3 first round picks for nothing.
The big one I got the 201 for Isaiah McKenzie. That was a while ago when he had one good game for the Bills. That was the big home league drama trade that people were questioning the validity of trading picks.
We've had some good fleeces. Maybe during the dead period of the summer, we'll do home league fleeces.
All right, fantasy meatball. What is up? How you doing? Traded Puka for the 108. A 27 first and Fannin in a non-tight end premium 10-team 1 QB was second last year, but only through luck. Oof. All right, this is kind of tough for me because 10-team and 1 quarterback and non-tight end premium is really making me lean
down.
Is really making me lean
shallow,
to the Puka side.
Yeah,
the 27 first,
unless that first is like, it's probably going to be top 4. I have a hard time sitting here being like, I feel great about the 108 in the 1 quarterback league and Harold Fannin in a non-tight end premium league that's pretty shallow. Yeah, especially when you're talking about Puka. Now there is like, the tinfoil hat conspiracy daddy of what if Puka goes crazy and then like, he's out of the league and does a speed run Antonio Brown situation. Maybe this is you planting your flag on JCM at the 109 and it's like, oh my gosh, like it worked out.
Yeah. I mean,
it's hard for me to sit here and be like, yeah, in this format though, it's like how many tight ends are out there? I mean, Kyle Pitts might be on waivers in that league.
Dang. The one like saving grace of this is that one of the mystery box pieces is a 2027 first. So
yeah,
like,
those things are exciting.
If you do feel good about that and the weight the 27 first will carry, like I'm sure we're gonna have some crazy. That's true. We're gonna have some crazy 2027 first trades mid-season that are just like teams that are like, okay, I'm pushing it all to get all these picks. But yeah, I'm probably leaning the Puka side. I'm a big Puka guy. Who isn't? Maybe that girl. But okay. Low
I'm
key,
a big Puka on the field side.
Yeah. I'm sure he's a fun hang for most of the night. Low key says I don't have a 27 first. Is it worth going
Clip that.
going for a Stafford or CMC type to win now and make that pick less. Fending off to Henny, I am try to make the playoffs every single year. Unless you are so sure that your team has no chance of doing it, then I am very aggressive on the other side. But if you have a reasonable team, 100%, especially if you don't have your 27 first, I don't think there's a realistic way for you to get it back. I'm trying to make the playoffs, because even if you look at some teams that are strong, we'll get questions and we'll look at teams on Dynasty Daddy and we'll see some super teams that are really strong. But at the end of the day, it's a 1 week sample size in the playoffs of you having to beat another team. And how many people were mad, 3 years ago when Justin Jefferson had a bad game against the Packers, or what? I don't know why I can only, or the Bengals Bills crazy game, the DeMar Hamlin situation. I don't know why those were the two things that came to my mind. Those are definitely not the most recent duds. And CMC had a dud game, you guys get what I'm saying.
Remember that one time? You remember that one time CMC had a bad game? I can't really think of that.
There was definitely, maybe it was 2 years ago. CMC had honestly, it wasn't even that bad. It was just instead of 25 points, it was 13. And that was just the worst.
You're oh man, he scored a normal running back.
Or Derrick Henry had a terrible week 17 and then went off for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in week 18 that nobody was playing in. But what I'm saying is, it's a 1 week sample size. If your team is decent enough to be close to making the playoffs and you don't have your 27 first, I would be doing everything I can, not going insane and pushing in my second and stacking on top of the picks I already don't have, but I would be doing everything I can reasonably to build a team that can make the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think you just got to lock in. And even if you're hey, I finished, I made the playoffs and as the 6th seed and got bounced first round, it's okay.
Yeah,
you're not going to be crying because you traded to 107. You're going to be crying if you're crap, I traded to 102. And it turned out to be Arch Manning.
Yeah. Traded my 109 in this draft for Zay. Hey, my man, this guy.
The Zay crew.
This guy watched the video. I think I ended up saying 107. I'd be comfortable doing. But yeah, 108, 109, banger. The 107, you do kind of risk getting a good landing spots for some of these other receivers I like. I like KC a lot. If you get a crazy tight end landing spot, that 106, 107 gets a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
But still, it's probably the wide receiver 4 in a class versus, versus what Zay's done the first 3 years of a season.
You traded Jonah Coleman for last year's wide receiver 10 in PPR or something.
Coleman. Hey, here's a one. Let's go.
I still have no idea about anything with Jonah Coleman.
One day,
it's the weirdest blind spot. I need to just
what my
sit
hope
down
is,
in the lab.
I know I started to kind of do the humble genius prospect guy that never end up seeing the light of
humble
day.
Genius.
So I definitely watched some Jonah Coleman. My hope is that he actually goes just 6th, 7th or undrafted, and you just never have to worry about Jonah Coleman. Even though I do kind of like him.
Knowing my luck, it'd be and with the 9th pick, the Saints select Jonah Coleman. Everyone's what in the world? What is going on?
Ooh, yes. I cannot wait. Dude, 2 streams from now. No, wait, actually, well, yes, it will be 2 streams from now, but we'll probably do
It'll be 2 streams.
Sunday after the culmination of the NFL draft. We'll do the special like we had done last time, but we'll be drafting with actual draft capital. It won't just be, why the hell is this guy going here? This mock makes no sense. It will be real life. The pick happened. Let's go.
And then we just rip mock drafts nonstop.
Ooh, no name. Which one was this? Oh my goodness. You got to get in more leagues, no name. This league, the 10x10 with Allen Hurts, CMC Gibbs, Achane, Puka, Amon-Ra, JJ McBride, Sam Darnold, and AJ Barner. That's his only league. Problem is I only have 9
He's
starters.
Sitting there being man, I've solved it. I solved it. The game's solved. Why do you need 10 leagues and people stressing about it? I mean, I'm over here. I got half the first round of the entire startup draft.
Okay, Barner was in there to show off that it falls fast as far as the backups. But it's a 10x10, and you have the 103, 104, and your own 27 first. You've got flexibility around studs. And you're in a 10x10.
Bijan. Complete the first half of the draft.
Yeah, in a 10x10, give me this room plus backup running backs and wide receivers versus like, Romeo Doubs and I was gonna say Wandale. I kind of want to give Wandale hope. I'm removing him from my making fun of list of receivers.
Is Romeo Doubs the new like you're kind of good, but you're also mid?
It's just kind of like the I'm not paying for this guy type beat. Like I will happily have a Romeo Doubs like slotted in, but like the people that would send,
You want it to be like you walked on the beach
swap.
and you found like $20 in the sand. You're like, oh, cool, but like you're not gonna go out and find it. Like if it just shows up, sure, but I'm not gonna like go out of the way to find a sandy $20 bill.
Ooh. Yes. Sorry, this caught my eye. Jeremy was hooping at Frazier Park with the boys from your home league. We need to get you out there. How's the hoop game? I've talked a little bit about my pickup sessions. I don't know if I've heard about the Jeremy hoop time.
I have extremely like flat feet, so I can run for about 5-10 minutes, and then my calves just like swell and cramp. So I never got very good at basketball because there's a lot of jumping and stuff.
Yeah,
but I've been to Frazier I think once or twice with them to play, but I mean I just don't shoot. I need to like I'm not tall, like I'm like 5'8", 5'9", so it's like the only way I can make an impact is like shooting if I can shoot, but I've like never practiced shooting, so I'm like, okay, well I'm just useless. Like I can maybe dive on the asphalt for a ball, but
how are the home league? How are the home league boys and Dynasty Jake? Is this a crew you can run with? How far is your overall ranking on 2K between these guys? Are you within like 10 points?
I don't know about Dynasty Jake. I don't know about, but both of my friends that were there texted me that yo, we're playing with Dynasty Jake.
Dang.
But I'm they're on the bench of their intramural league, and I would be under that bench. Like I'd be like
under it.
Yeah, I'm like I'm not even their caliber. So
dang.
I just got to be the hustle guy. But when I played in middle school, I was like, I can't shoot. I'm not coordinated enough to dribble very well. But whenever someone would hold the ball, I would just like dive and try to get a jump ball.
The worst part about
like
that,
6 jump balls before kids were like, okay, this guy's annoying.
The absolute like, because I was a big hustle guy too in high school, and unfortunately, like that just has to be removed from your like brain with like pickup with random bros in the park, and that's like the worst part about having that strong skill. The gym rat badge that you carry through high school.
That's all I have is the gym rat. But if you do that on the at Frazier Park, I might get shot
and hurt too. That's the worst.
Yeah.
What is up, Kai? 2K subs. Congrats. Thank you, Kai. Honestly, Kai, and I'm sure other people, whoever's been sharing the beautiful message of the Dynasty Daddy YouTube channel, thank you for your support. But I know Kai's been putting in the work, going door to door in his home league, checking and making sure everybody stops by, post their teams in the channel. Ooh, but the follow-up.
Shouts to Kai.
Is Travis Hunter a buy low or an easy drop? I think the biggest, obviously Rappaport had the, going to be playing more corner this year, which I think was like a recycled report from earlier in the offseason. And then Travis Hunter came out and was like, who told you this on Twitter? This is how we're getting our news nowadays. It's a beautiful world we live in. But yeah, with the wide receiver room, if BTJ doesn't get moved, where does Travis Hunter fall for you? I'm going to pull up the... Let's pull up some Travis Hunter trades. He deserves his own little special time, doesn't he?
He is the most traded player on Dynasty Daddy right now.
I looked out on my phone. I've got the NBA scores up right now, and I was hoping to say as the Hornets, but unfortunately it is as the Heat.
It's a 3-point game.
Oh, dang.
3-point game.
Let's go. Who hit the
Brandon
3?
Miller from the corner.
Bang. Let's go. All right, I'm going to do some Travis Hunter 3 asset trades. How about that?
Did he kill somebody?
Travis Hunter?
No, Brandon Miller.
Oh.
Let's debate.
Man, 12 by 10, AJ Barner, Jalen McMillan.
I see. So it's funny here. I see Travis Hunter for the 2026 203 in one league. It is a best ball.
Yeah.
And in another league right next to it, I see Travis Hunter. It's basically the same format, except one is best ball and one isn't. Travis Hunter for the 403.
Yeah, I see that one. Jeez. Okay, so my thing with like buying Travis Hunter right now, I am not doing it for anything that I think gives me a chance to impact my lineup in the league. Like, I think you could easily, if somebody gave you the bet of like who's going to have more receiving yards this year, Jalen McMillan or Travis Hunter, would not surprise me at all if it's Jalen McMillan. But in terms of like upside, in terms of 3-4 years from now, which of these guys can you easily get a first round pick plus for? It's like Travis Hunter without a question. So like these kind of moves, 12 by 10, 0.5 tight end premium, like I'm fine buying Travis Hunter for these kind of trades. But Matthew Golden, Derrick Henry, even these like 2 seconds, I don't feel great about.
Matthew Golden, like I feel like that's one I would consider. Because I'm like, I don't know if I want. Like, I'm just so sick of the Packers' offense.
I don't know. I
know they got rid of 2 of the guys, but I know they're gonna find some random guys.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like,
they're taking
gonna
a receiver in the first. 100%.
Antonio Williams, and they're gonna be like, oh, we got. The second they draft Antonio Williams, we're gonna have a Will tweet that Matthew Golden is Matthew Bronze now.
The Matthew Golden thing for me, he definitely falls into the like the magic beans, the dynasty hopium of people's mindset about a player. And I probably do this too much, but week 1, man, 6 for 60 and a touchdown for Matthew Golden. Like, what can you move him for? And he runs 90-something% of the routes. Like, that's why I like Matthew Golden, at least at like these kind of Travis Hunter type prices. But I'm not going out of my way to Goodwill Zay Flowers. Honestly, probably a decent comp for different reasons.
It's Wayne Dell, baby.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Which of these Travis Hunter trades are you doing?
Would you trade like the 207? Like what? How late would the pick need to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think anything past. I think like mid-second and on, I would trade for Travis Hunter in this class. And kind of additional context of like I can't use that mid-second pick to trade for running back production or, you know, tight end production, vet wide receiver by like adding a future second onto it. I would do that. I don't think I have any Travis Hunter right now. I think my last share was the Charlie Daddy best ball that I traded in season when he got hurt. The last we saw of Travis Hunter, what was that Rams game?
Such a salesman.
7 for 100 and touchdown.
Such a salesman. Yeah, last time.
Dang.
You had
Next time we'll see him.
Fantasy points.
If you have Travis Hunter, try to get Washington. This is an interesting bet. I kind of like the, you know, one of these will probably matter more than they're valued at.
The Parker Washington hype, though, some people just like. I feel like Parker Washington for me might be in the Romeo Dobbs
28 first
category. Just because we've only seen it for a little bit, right? You saw Romeo Dobbs do it for a little bit, and you're like, oh, he could be the guy, and then it shifts away. I need to see a little bit more from Washington to be like, I want to pay a decent price for him. That being said, like, you know, he's one of the guys that if you have, you're like, oh, sick, I have Parker Washington. He turned out to be maybe worth something. So he's kind of one of like those, like, maybe he will break into that late first range or early second, but I'm not going to pay that right now.
I'm going to go try to buy some Parker Washington, and some of these prices are insane, but it's more like the wide range of prices I see. We got a 28 first in a 12 by 10 half PPR, and then I scroll down a little bit, and it's Parker Washington for Caleb Johnson. Straight up. We've got...
Yeah, that's right. The price, some people don't realize he was good, and then some people think they found, like, the next Puka.
And to me, too, like, the Parker Washington bet, is almost less a like bet on Parker Washington himself as like, what year are we even Parker Washington? Is this year 6?
Year 3.
Really?
He has 3 years of experience.
Okay. It's less
Year
of a
6. How old do you think he is?
Honestly, it's like more of like when I started thinking about who Parker Washington was, he was like removed from the draft cycle for me. And I usually probably give 2 years on top of those players. But no, the Parker Washington thing I think is more of like the offensive bet. So it's like less of he's gonna alpha Jacoby Myers, BTJ, but like the price to acquire, if it's Caleb Johnson prices, like for that bet on the offense, I'm down to clown. I got Washington as an add-on when I sold my 105 to hedge Hunter. It's one of the other, in my opinion, that takes off in the offense. Also have T-Law. Yeah, I think the Travis Hunter stuff gets a little bit sketchier when you think about the way the Jaguars chose to approach handling the wide receiver room, like acquiring Jacoby Myers in season via trade to extend, Parker Washington breaking out, BTJ
That's
trade
the craziest
rumors
thing
being
too,
crushed.
is like BTJ like is there and like probably not going to get dealt, and like yeah, we thought he would be the biggest winner of all this offensive production. Travis Hunter, they did trade up. I still think they want to use him in the offense. So we've seen them use him at one game, and you're like, wow, he could pop, he could be that guy. But then the Jacoby Myers piece, Parker Washington starting to break out. It's starting to be like, wait a minute, we're strong at wide receiver. We're not as strong at cornerback. Might as well just use him to fit our need. We don't need, if we already have 3 good wide receivers, we don't need 4 good wide receivers. Like I think it kind of is a need thing for them at least.
Can you imagine showing Will hyping up Travis Hunter this chat message April 14th, 2026, back in April 14th, 2025? Hunter is more favored to win Offensive Player of the Year versus Washington on FanDuel. How many Washingtons do you think I would have gone through before I got to Parker?
What type of season would Parker Washington have to put up to win Offensive Player of the Year? Like, no disrespect. I think Hunter, people like Hunter more. He's a Heisman. He has more notability. Like, I think if they both put up the same season, everyone would be like, well, Hunter did. It's Hunter. So that's way more hype.
The
Way
Otani
more
buff.
credit. Yeah. But like Parker Washington is like, it's like the HR meme of like, 1,500 yards and 20 touchdowns. And everyone's like, oh, Travis Hunter is awesome. If Parker Washington did that, they'd be like, who cares about him? No one cares about Parker. He would have to have literally, 2K yards and 20 touchdowns. Like, he'd have to absolutely break the NFL for people to give him Offensive Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm. All right, I don't know how I missed this one. I skipped down. We were talking Travis Hunter. I got dizzy. Big Diaz was the rebound hustle guy building a brick castle. I mean, what do you expect? Big Diaz energy?
Rick by the Rick.
Come on.
Honestly, the Dynasty Daddy chat, if we did a pickup game, it'd just be all hustle guys.
I've evolved.
Only rebounds.
I've evolved my game a little bit. I was the defensive player of the year for the high school team. All area honorable mention. Okay, I didn't make any of the all area first or second class teams, but I think it was like
honorable mention something though.
Thank you. I think it was a nod to like, I think I was the kind of player that coaches liked. So like the other coach would be like pulling up the scouting report and like going through our team's best scorer, our team's second best scorer, our team's like big defender, and then they would get to me and the coach would like light up and he'd be like, this guy just gives it his all, man. He's not gonna let you buy him.
And you're like, that's all I got, man.
we were a
2
big
to 3 by half.
There you go. We were a big take charges team. That's another thing you can't carry over into pickup. Is taking a good charge. Dude, that'll get you shot more than hustling for sure.
And call fouls during the pickup.
Yeah, that's true. I just mutter under my breath when I think I get hacked. Hits 40 plus. Oh yeah.
I also shout out Kyle in the Dynasty domain,
Yeah.
shouting out my website. They do great stuff, and I'm friends with them as well. So
Let's go.
best to them, and thank you for spreading the word, Kyle.
Shout out for shout out. When are we getting a Dynasty domain type studio, Jeremy? And in what state are we building it in? That thing is nice. That setup.
They do have they have quite the setup. I was talking to them and they're like, "Oh yeah, we have like graphic designers and stuff." I'm like, "Whoa."
We got Will and Canva is what we got.
Yeah, we got a Discord call.
Let's go. Yes. You guys taking any questions? I got way too many 26 seconds. I don't do with them. Yeah. Milkman, let us know. Give us some team context, what you're looking for, and what picks you have in 26. And we can definitely walk through that. Let's go. Now is the time. I mean, come on. Dynasty Trade Show? You guys taking questions? Yes, sir. Especially for the 26 class. Big on Travis Hunter. He's too talented to be just a mid-corner. Hunter for Golden is a steal.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh. That can't be a good oh my God. Oh.
No, it's good.
Whoa, shoot.
I thought we were going to lose. We're down 4
Kobe
with like 20
White.
seconds left.
Captain Kobe White.
He had like a fadeaway corner 3 with 10 seconds left.
Dang.
Tied it up.
What was the coach's challenge? I just saw that.
I have no idea.
Was it like foot on the line or something? Dang, 10 seconds left.
Maybe that's probably what it is.
We're about to get a OT. I'm locked in. All right. Schefter said on Pat McAfee, Jags are going to use Hunter as a wideout, just as they did last year. I'm buying for seconds, thirds, fourths easily. Yeah, I think the cheapo trades, to me, I think I would be nervous buying Hunter for like confident impact pieces in shallower leagues. So like I am an upside junkie, but in the same vein, like 12 by 9, 12 by 10, if I can get running back production with whatever pick or player I'm sending away for Hunter.
ETN, Swift.
Yeah, and like even down like to like Swift, that kind of range of like
Devontae,
even a
like just give me a guy.
Down. Yeah. But I do think
the golden for Hunter, and I know like Kyle said it here wrong way. I mean, getting Hunter for Golden's a steal.
Okay.
Like I feel like the upside of Hunter is so much higher than Golden, even just like vibes based. We're gonna put on the vibes hat. People just are down on Golden. It's not the stank of Parker Washington winning Offensive Player of the Year, but like
I don't know.
All it takes is Travis Hunter getting some good offensive usage, and everyone's like, "Oh man, like we're back, baby."
I do.
It's not hard to see how the story and narrative on Hunter can switch really quickly.
Yeah. I guess I'm surprised that I thought Hunter would be further down. I'm looking here. I mean, Hunter or Jordan Addison. I'm surprised. I see those neck and neck. I'm taking Addison.
Yeah, I would take Addison, especially with next year's QB1 and Kyler Murray.
All right, Hunter. Okay, never mind. I've got Hunter here by Jalen McMillan, Cortland Sutton. Okay, so like Cortland Sutton, like you get Jalen Waddle there. Is that not enough like production bet for you to take Sutton? Would you keep Hunter for that?
Probably would.
Yeah. This is what I was.
I feel like if I wanted to move, if I was like win now, I'm like I would probably go for like Adams or like Devontae Adams. Like give me a guy that I feel better about production wise, or just go for that running back production because I know if I get Travis Etienne, like he doesn't have to be efficient, but it's like he's going to touch the ball 20 times a game.
Yeah, and
I can just live with that.
Yeah, we need to be. I'm going to do a quick Travis Hunter diatribe. I think is that the word? What does that word mean? Can you look it up, Jeremy? Diatribe. Did I use that right?
I think it was good. I think it was Right. It sounded good.
Look it up while I'm doing this diatribe, if that's what the word is. You can't ignore what the
bitter,
Jags did.
Abusive, and often lengthy speech or piece of writing that acts as a forceful sting.
Wow.
Verbal attack against someone or something.
Angry speech. Okay, this is it. 100%.
Angry speech. Go on.
You can't ignore what the Jags did. They traded for Jacoby. Then after a week, signed him to a deal. BTJ and Hunter are playing the same role in the offense. Washington and Jacoby. The goalposts Hamoud. Give me the wide receivers that are actually playing wide receiver. My Hunter thing, and obviously the goalposts have moved with where Hunter is ranked right now versus where he was ranked heading into the season, after the Rams game, before the injury. But, and I totally understand holding Hunter for the price you can sell on. For me, the bet has changed. I don't want you guys to do what I was doing as the Travis Hunter guy. There is somewhere in the Discord where I had Hunter ahead of Henderson, and I don't know if I had him ahead of T-Mac. I think I had them pretty neck and neck, that I was like, I kind of get both. But I probably, at some point, I probably had Travis Hunter ahead of Tedro McMillan.
If Will is out, we're in trouble.
No, I'm going full cam for this one, guys. I don't want you guys to like live in the world that I lived in, where be realistic about the upside, right? For production for Travis Hunter, in terms of, don't be like me, man. I Big Diaz remembers after the Rams game where I was like, victory lapping, let's go. And like, we even need to be realistic about that game. That was like a ton of second half production when, Jags were launching that thing. The wide receiver room was not looking like it's looking right now. It's just, we got to be realistic. Diatribe done. But I mean, we're not talking about paying firsts right now. We're talking about, the Matthew Golden bet. But to me, I'd rather take the Matthew Golden bet in terms of like sentiment for people. And I mean, you said that you think the vibes are more down on Golden. I think that the realistic upside vibes would be higher for Golden for me than Hunter. And that hurts me as a Hunter believer.
I just can't. I feel like the Hunter vibes are all going to come. It's kind of like same conversation, just different. Like it's not the exact same, but it rhymes, right? What's his usage going to be? It's the same thing we were saying when he was drafted. We're like, what is his usage going to be when he's, is he actually going to play wide receiver? Is he going to play both sides? What's it going to look like? To me, I didn't want to get into at the first round, upper ends of the first round price tag. Now we're talking mid to early second. If I can get those price tags, I feel a little better there, because it's not his talent at wide receiver that's the issue. It's just like, what is his actual utilization going to be? I feel fine at that price tag, just lighting up a mid-second on fire and saying, like, sure, maybe if it works, then I can live with that.
That's fair. And it's a similar bet. I mean, with this class, if we're being realistic about that, the wide receivers you're probably going to take are going to be like, mid-second rounders at best. And that's a Jaden Higgins, that's a Jalen Noel, that's all right. I'm gonna put it on you. I'm gonna give you one, and I'm gonna pull up some live stream asks that we've got.
Sounds good.
All right, 202, 205, 211, 210, and a bunch of later picks. Team is mostly young. Dart, Ward, Goff, Neighbors, Burden, Pierce, Hunter, Hendo, Bowers, Meathammer on Sleeper, Butt League. This is a team that has a bunch of seconds. So I'm gonna. All right, that should have been a read ahead, but I'll pull it up.
Just not sure what to do with the second. I assume you just mean all of them.
Yeah.
Seems like folks don't want them. I mean, I don't know the exact format of it, but I mean, I think the early seconds are still somewhat interesting, but yeah, it's going to be hard to move. I think I would definitely just send out a bunch of them and be like, hey, like, any of these seconds for a future second, 27, 28. Like, if you don't want to have to take all of them, send a 210 for someone's 28 second and just be like, I'll take the flexibility. Especially as we get closer to the draft and draft happens, there's always people that are like, I want to make a pick. Especially if they don't have a pick. So you could probably flip one or two of them for something like that. I don't mind taking some second round bets, worst case. But it is kind of hard.
Can I turn can I turn them into running back production on this team? Sorry, I just pulled it up.
I was about to say,
with Henderson, JCM, and Marks as the running backs, like your wide receiver room, Neighbors, Burden, Pierce, Downs, Travis Hunter. And your quarterback room, like the running back room, I think you give me one or two names here. This is like a borderline playoff team and feels less of a fraud. So do we have any strong RB rooms that don't have a lot of picks? Like there's like Ramondre types. You have Hendo. Chuba is on this team that has 4 decent running backs. They're pretty weak at wide receiver too. So like maybe seconds are a little bit more interesting and appealing to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like how many seconds can you staple together to maybe get an interesting player?
Algier.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'd
JT,
see
Kenneth
one of those.
Walker, Corum team. I mean, even like Corum too for like a later pick. Like those types.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think
those
are
are good
matter
for
more
late
you.
seconds.
Yeah, and it's like those
Chuba.
Those
It's
buys.
hard with it. Yeah, go ahead.
No. I was gonna say like those buys are like so much more impactful for your roster than what probably will be the bets you'll make. Because like we can kind of like talk ourselves, and I mean you can wait until the draft too if you want, especially with like the early pick like the 202 and kind of try to map that out. But I think it's very unrealistic that the 202 pick is going to be a running back that we feel confident has a role. Like if Price or something gets the draft capital people are talking about to like the Vikings or something, that's the 109. Like that's the 108. That's the 110 maybe. Like that's not pushing to where you're at with the 202. The 202 is probably going to be, you're taking the second round quarterback, you're taking your favorite of the second round receivers. It's not going to be a running back bet that we feel good in, especially in this class. So I'm down to move those picks for, this like 210, 211. If you can like try to knock on the Chuba Hubbard doors.
Johnson.
Yeah. Like those, I feel like you're just going to fall into the Keaton Mitchell, Woody Marks, Bill bets. And I'm trying to get, Chuba Hubbard. I feel a little bit better about plugging that into my starting lineup.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And you got the 102. Oh yeah, Tate with the 102 too. Would you with this wide receiver room, in terms of like impact to your roster, and let me know if I'm being a little bit too pushy here on like the let's turn this into a competing team right now, because I do like Tate, and we'll see what landing spots end up looking like. Would you look at moving the 102 for a running back? I mean, this isn't a bad wide receiver room to add like Tate or Levin or Tyson.
I probably would. Even if it's like, can I tear down to like the 105 or something? Like can I stay within a range that I enjoy and see if like can I pick up a depth piece, or do I just completely get out of it? I'd also be open to that.
Okay.
The guy that's 105 has like RJ Harvey, Dylan Sampson, Pacheco's. Not a ton.
All right,
of interesting players.
This is interesting. Okay, so this is a like wide receiver falls off a cliff for this team, and maybe they're fine penciling in the 104 as a wide receiver. But man, if we'll see how the draft shakes out. But like maybe they don't feel as good about it after the NFL draft. But this is a Genty, Hampton, Travis Etienne, Chuba Hubbard, Manungai team. Now I'm not moving down. I don't know if I would move down to the 104 from the 102 for Chuba, but like I wonder if you could finagle getting like, Travis.
Etienne or something.
I know. I keep kind of dancing around using Travis Etienne or Travis Etienne.
Oh yeah, man,
it's tough for me. And I don't even like. I wasn't even trying to call it. Yeah, it's a hard world we live in.
We'll smack my hand with the ruler right there.
To be fair, the Hornets are up 3 with 48 seconds left in OT. So
I know.
No, but would you? I mean, so I don't know if you could get this done, but I think this is an interesting starting point. 102 to 104, and you probably would have to throw in something. So yeah, like one of your early seconds to get ETN, and to him, he looks at his running back room versus his wide receiver room, and he's like, geez, Rome, AJ Brown, and then it's Tyreek Hill, Keon Coleman, Like it gets real rough real quick. So he might even be, Tony Romo's bone. Okay. Should have pre-read that one. He probably is even more into like these wide receiver bets and more willing to move off of running back. So I definitely would check that out. What would you do? Would you do the 102? You move down to the 104. You get Achane, Travis Achane. I'm just gonna say Achane weirder when I pronounce.
I think I would do that.
Name.
I mean, I think that fits my needs. It gives me the flexibility.
Would you throw in the?
I am not sold.
205. Would you try with the 205 first? Let's do the trade calculator. Yeah.
Like the 10, was it the 102 for the 104?
So you are getting, and then you're moving like your 205. It's pretty heavy on the side, but you might have to do it. What do you have, the 202? Like it might have to be this. Like see what this looks like. I feel like for most people, like the new, like him going to the Saints, he's probably valued closer to like that in between mid and late first. But I think you moving down 2 spots with the way that team is set up, they might do it for the 202.
Hold on, I'm confusing myself here.
Yeah, and you
throw
even
in
have
Travis Hunter.
Yeah, throw in Travis Hunter. I mean, you've got the money to blow too, and like you're still getting a wide receiver bet. Like, granted, you're not getting the first one, but I think in terms of competing for this year, in terms of competing for this year, like adding someone like Travis Achane is like way more impactful for your roster than the difference.
Yeah, and you still get the high end bet.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, and then obviously on top of that, if you can find a way to turn, the late seconds into, we talked about Chuba types, like that kind of range of running back. Like what does Rico Dowdle cost? Like Rico Dowdle, like for some teams is like, they're not even really questioning starting them over the other running backs they have. But for you, he's automatically RB2, maybe even RB1 on a week. Let's see, future picks wise. Don't have your 27 first. You got 2 seconds. And this is, you don't have your 27 first. I'm even more inclined. I just noticed that. I'm more inclined to do that type of move because I don't have my 27 first. I want to do everything I can to build out a team that week 1 is committing to pushing for the playoffs. So like those kind of moves to build out the running back rooms is like
that definitely changes it.
Yeah, 100%. So I would even be more inclined to do that. Now, granted, you don't have to do that right now. And there could be the one wrinkle that I kind of want to like make sure I'm calling out is there's a couple of landmine wide receiver landing spots where right now I know a lot of people have the 102, 103, 104 pretty close in terms of like wide receiver prospects, which I totally get and understand. But in terms of if we get one of those guys to the Jets and then one of them goes to the Chiefs, like think about how different those are going to be perceived, like 102, 103, 104. So I don't know if I'm in a rush to do that kind of move because you just still will have the leverage, but I would at least have that in mind heading into the draft.
I agree. I think there's a lot of things you can explore there. I mean, it could be, hey, let me trade the entire first round pick. But I do think you have the leverage, but you need to have some sort of answer in time because the 27 season won't be as easy to move around because all you got seconds. You don't have that first to kind of rely on. So you do need to kind of piece together some sort of meaningful roster.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like waiting until the draft. Maybe not with the seconds, but if you think that you're going to need the seconds to complete that one trade that we talked about moving down, maybe you do hold off on it. But and I mean rookie hype fever, like people get excited about prospects regardless. So I'm not going to get too into the weeds of like how, the 205 and 211 are valued right now versus post draft. But Yeah, I think you carry the leverage. I think you have a lot more leverage being the 102 guy that's willing to move down to the 104 post draft. So I definitely would hold a little bit, and we can kind of reevaluate post NFL draft. All right, I have. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Will.
3 free throws for Harrell. That's crazy.
I've never really been super invested in the NBA team because I'm a Hornets fan. And this loss hurts. This is a rough one.
Wait, is it over?
They were up 5. They came back, 2-point lead. LaMelo fouls Tyler Hero in the corner after turning the ball over. Sends him to the line with 8 seconds left to blow the game.
You guys had one possession.
That was
right?
an amazing game. I think it's over.
I see 8.7 seconds, but I'm on Gamecast.
I see 0.08. I think it's over. I think it's a zip right there. Man, well, there's always next year.
Can we get 1 sub for Jeremy going through there? No, that's
I'm back, baby. There's a reason I watch football. At least we make the playoffs and lose.
Dang, that's true. All right, I've got a Travis Hunter trade. Big D has blessed us with after all the Travis Hunter yapping.
Is that the live stream ask?
It is, and I have the team context. Oh my goodness, massive. All right, Travis Hunter, or the 2 or the 111. And I'm gonna pull up the context here with the team. Shout out to Diaz. I was bringing the context. All right, this is a 12 by 10 Superflex deep IDP. Big play. 1, 2, 3. Big play scoring. Man,
I think IDP. I'd probably take it. Like, I think it's more fair.
The only thing with IDP though is, like, I'm trying to factor in this defensive class too, versus just Travis Hunter, who he is as an IDP player, you know? So, like, it's not I'm trying to remove my brain from, like, Travis Hunter, the IDP player, versus my take on the 111 of this class. It's like how the 111 feels when you add in, you know, Arvel Reese and, you know, Ruben Bain and all these guys, you know, like, and how much they matter versus a corner. Let me know, Big Diaz, how corners score.
When it's deeper, it's more important, right? If it was shallower, I'd be like, I don't really care. But the fact that it's a deeper league means that DBs probably do have some value. And the fact that I have a DB that can get sorry, I'm losing my mind.
I think I stun locked you because I did the finger point, and I feel like the finger point. Me,
and then I apparently the game wasn't over. The Hornets actually won.
Oh, let's go!
So we're back. I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on?
That's so funny.
We're back.
I believed you because I had it on Gamecast, and to me it was like 8.7 seconds left. They got a possession.
Yeah,
left.
I was like, oh, it's over. And then I'm like, wait a minute, they score. I'm like, what is going on?
Dang,
who hit
the game winner?
LaMelo. LaMelo got redemption.
Let's go.
It feels good. I'm used to every time the Hornets got into the play-in, it was just like a boat race. We lost by 40 every time during the Borrego years. So I'm excited that we actually might be able to get in. But anyway, back to here's I think in a deeper.
Can I hit you with a quick context note? Because I didn't read through the whole message. Diaz listed the team. Replacement DB would never fetch this. And I think, like, that to me is like, I'm trying to give some credit to Big Diaz as like a war understander and somebody that plays in a lot more IDP than me. Because that's kind of my thing with, like, the way I understand how scoring happens in IDP. Like, obviously interceptions are worth a lot, but the number of interceptions that happen in a game, how many defensive scoring plays that cornerbacks are involved in versus linebackers, defensive linemen that are like actually stopping the run consistently. That was my
a lot of
context
times too. The DBs is you kind of want to have you want to have safeties that oftentimes rush the passer a lot to rack up the
or
stats
filling gaps.
Well. No, it's the one thing with Travis Hunter that's interesting, and it really depends on your format, is you can plug him into that wide receiver spot, and a lot of times if he gets a safe floor of like 4 to 5 tackles and like a pass breakup, that's going to be like 8 points or something. It depends on their scoring, but if you know you're scoring, and I assume this league is pretty savvy, so it's not something that like I have somewhere like IDP can just break the league based on scoring.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine this is probably pretty fair in this type of league just because the IDP. And I don't mind you getting off of it, but I think in IDP leagues, Travis Hunter is still an interesting wild card. It's hard to write him off because he could still have a 2-touchdown crazy game, or he could just, do nothing.
Yeah, that is kind of the one interesting part is like maybe the way that I talk about Hunter and like as an upside junkie of like the peak, okay, he's so good at wide receiver that he is just running 90% of the routes. Like, I think that is like outside of the realm of possibility right now in my mindset. Even outside of the whole like reports if he's going to play more corner. Like, I just think based off what we saw last season, how they've handled the wide receiver room. I thought you were about to say the
DBs is crazy.
I thought you were about to say the Heat actually won. You double checked and LaMelo actually missed that shot.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it. No, but I think the upside in an IDP league exists that a decent Travis Hunter offensive game like matters more. So I want to give some credit to, the replacement DB would never fetch this like a 111 pick just because of what that draft ends up looking like on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Because I am just not in enough IDP leagues to have like a good feel for that. But I don't know. It's interesting. I think there's definitely some merit to the upside bet alongside Diaz's stop loss, taking the 102, which obviously is not a bad pick in hindsight. It is a bad pick in hindsight, but not a bad pick with the format.
I think in this league, it's probably like start 3 DBs. It is a 12 team still. I mean, there's so much IDP. I still think it's probably fair. I do agree, like DBs are the most replaceable, but you also just have the wild card of Travis Hunter. A full season of Travis Hunter with usage. I don't blame someone saying, I will trade a 111 in this type of format for him. But this is the type of format where I would consider sending a late first for him. That being said, like, I probably would still cash out.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I don't think the value is crazy just because the IDP format's very significant. But like Big Diaz, I've never played in a league where I was like, man, I can't find a DB. Like, it's always every IDP league I played in, there's like a bazillion DBs, and you're like, okay, which one is going to score consistently enough for me to feel good about?
All right. I know Boosh Marketing gave some additional, actually a correction here. So would you send Henderson and Baker for Saquon and Hurts? I'll put on this live stream ask.
Let's see. Would you send Henderson and Baker for Saquon and Hurts?
I would.
Ooh, I probably would. Yeah.
I know bit lower on,
people are a little
Henderson.
Down on Hurts, but Henderson's like just a weird situation. Like Stevenson got a ton of run during the playoffs. Baker is like all right, but not amazing. Like the Hurts upside alone is probably worth it, even though there's all this, Hurts slander going on right now.
Yeah. Yeah, to me it's like I do like Baker. But like, dude, the people being down on Hurts, what was he, QB7 last year? Like that's the down on Hurts is like, even with dud games, dude, he had 2 turnovers on one play last year in that like dud 4-point game he had against the Vikings or something, if I can remember.
That was like one of the worst things I've ever seen in my that Chargers game. I remember sitting there watching that, and I was just like, "What in the world is happening here?"
But yeah, even with a disappointing last year, you know, the AJ Brown trade stuff, like to me, if the worst case, like worst Jalen Hurts year is QB7, like that's a lot better than what we saw from Baker last year. And then in terms of like 2-year bet at the running back, I mean, give me Saquon 10 times out of 10 versus Henderson.
Yeah, like you're getting a lot of value for Henderson in this trade, and I think that's worth taking.
All right.
Do we hit this Dynasty Savvy one? The good evening, boys. How are you adjusting player positional values in half PPR relative to full PPR? 12 teams, start 10, 2 wide receiver, super flex, 0.5 tight end premium.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, other than the obvious PPR scam type wide receivers are a little bit less appealing. To me, it's like more of a bet on offensive situation and, you know, wide receivers that I think are going to be a part of high scoring. Like there's like the high scoring wide receiver bets in their own right, like the Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, like when they're in the red zone, like the red zone targets are just insanely high. If we're just talking about wide receivers, but I'm even more inclined to bet on offenses in general. So like love me some Garrett Wilson. But like last year, I would not have been betting on Garrett Wilson to have like a monster half PPR year. Just in terms of how many touchdowns I assume the Jets are going to score offensively versus, you know, San Francisco, you know, the Jags heading into this year, the Lions, obviously. But
the Panthers, obviously.
I mean, that's the same case for tight ends for sure. At the running back position, I think.
I feel like with the adjustment for half PPR, I tend to lean more into running backs when I get into those like ambiguous ranges, right? Because I want to either have a stud, but like my flexes, I'm much more inclined to say, oh, like a running back is going to be much more viable in those rules. In this type of format, half PPR, 0.5 tight end premium, those tight ends are going to be super flexible because you're getting full PPR for those guys. So a tight end with 5 catches, that's 5 points right there, not including anything else. And I think that's something that the edge I would be looking at would be like, how do I get a bunch of those under the radar tight ends that people would like, or not people that people don't value, and I can just get them for cheap, and those can be my flexes versus I'm going to pay up for a solid flex wide receiver here. Why do I need to do that when I can get, you know, a Kyle Pitts type player that I can just plug in for super cheap?
Yeah. I'm with it. I also wouldn't be too, like, sometimes when people that play in so many full PPR leagues go to half PPR, they like almost think it's like a buff to not be a pass catching running back because it's like, you idiots, like it's only half PPR, but it's still half a point for each reception. So like maybe like, man, my brain always goes like James White has always been like the PPR scam running back for me. And like, I need to start updating that in terms of like the Kenneth Gainwell is probably the new James White.
The past few years, I was about to say Kenneth Gainwell is a good one.
But so like, yes, the Kenneth Gainwell types are less appealing when you don't think they're going to be involved, you know, in the red zone or, you know, in the rushing game that often. But like running backs that do catch passes and are involved in other aspects of the game and have like a goal line role, like they shouldn't be nerfed too hard on the format change. All right, this is interesting. I got this one, and then I've got a live stream ask in the chat. Okay, for real. I don't know who y'all's order for top 3 wide receivers are. What are your personal rankings, and what draft capital landing spot would it take for the order to shake? Like, if Tate is your first, what would it take for him to be moved to third, etc.? I almost want to hit the live stream ask and then kind of close out a little bit on this one. While we're getting to the tail end and kind of pull up like the draft board. Does that sound good? And we can kind of talk through like potential wide receiver landing spots.
Yeah, it can be something that we go off of.
We'll come back to you, Kyle. I won't forget you. I made a promise. But I've got Mr. Sports here posted in the Discord live stream ask. If you guys are not in the Discord, link in the description. This is where Mr. Sports posted this chat message that I'm pulling up right now and the link to this team. Should I trade? Oh, let me move this down. It's bugging me. Should I trade the 105 plus a piece for Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson if possible, or stay at the 105 and take Kenyon Sadiq? Not tight end premium or super flex. Thoughts? Appreciate all the feedback so far. I love my team this offseason. I was able to acquire Jahmyr Gibbs, trading 102 and 227 picks, and also move the 103 and 104 for what should be early to mid 27 first plus some seconds. Chris, what I think about this next move for an upgrade at tight end or quarterback? I am not in love with moving that pick for Lamar or Hurts in single quarterback. I kind of like Herbert.
Yeah, I think Herbert's fine here. I would not be trying to. I'm open to moving that pick. I would not be trying to move it for a quarterback. Now, if you're talking, hey, can I get a good running back or something? Sure. Like let's explore that option.
Would you do it for Josh Allen? 105 and Herbert for Josh Allen.
I probably would.
I
feel like this team is so good.
I know. And you have 227 first too. So I'm almost even more inclined to do the F it, we ball, give me Josh Allen, Bijan Gibbs, Genty. Yeah. I'm just smashing everybody constantly. Boss. But I don't know. Would you even no tight end premium? Gadsden, you get the Gadsden likely bets on how is the situation going to look this year for Gadsden year 2 stacked with your Herbert one piece, likely with the Giants, and then Mark Andrews. I think there's a tiny bit of hopium there too. So I almost, unless I was getting up to the studs, I almost don't even want to move the pick for that. The one thing with the 105 is you remove Mendoza from the situation. So it is very much you hope Sadiq gets a sick landing spot.
KC. That's who you're dealing with here. I think I would be trying to.
Would you move for another 27 first?
Yeah, I think that's an easy option of I don't want to make the pick. Let me just trade for a future 27. Someone may be willing to do that. I also think there's an option of could I take Tet plus that pick and get a big name? Kind of go stud hunting and try to find.
Here's the other issue.
Amazing wide receiver.
I have to pause you because
a bad team.
I just checked these stars because we didn't get a format initially. This team is having to bench one of Genty, CD.
It's a 10-team start 7.
Yeah. So, man. Yeah. Who do you even? I think you just do go for stud tight end. Give me. I'm doing it, man. Who has?
Do you take Gadsden in the 105 and be McBride, Bowers, Loveland, just go down the list.
I'm starting there, and then I'm even willing to do
I kind of like Gadsden with Herbert though. You got the tight end quarterback stack.
Yeah, I like McBride and Bowers and Loveland with Herbert a little bit more. But I get what you're saying when you're just doing the stack thing in non-tight end premium. But I guess
you only start 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers.
Yeah, it's going back to the percentage thing where we did it with Loveland last year in that 0.5 tight end premium last year, a couple weeks ago, where it was a shallow enough league that I wanted to push in because I was I'm making the bet that this guy's going to be impactful. This team has the assets to make 2 of these bets, and they don't even need to. So I think there's some more merit to the moving for Josh Allen, but I like Herbert enough where I'd almost rather do the tight end thing. Man. All right, can I check?
This is definitely a suffering from success.
Yeah, this could have been Mr. Sports. You could make 2 bets, and even if both of them are wrong, you're probably still winning this year.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, like that was awful. Oh well, like I can cry with use $100 bills as tissues.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of these teams are pretty nasty. Like this team looked kind of sketchy at running back, but they have the Jeremiah Love pick. This is a Bowers team that has Neighbors, Pickens, Burden, Evans, 102, 101. I'm just gonna check the 3 stud tight ends, and then we can go back to the quarterback thing real quick. This team has 3 good receivers, good running back room, no picks in 26 or the 27 picks. I would check on McBride with this team. Like, yes, it's not tight end premium, but it is still PPR. 4-point passing touchdown too. Man, can you message the commissioner? Say how many years out? Let's do a vote. Can we add 4 starters? So I don't have to bench.
You do need to add more starters.
Genty.
It's tough. 10 teams start 7.
It's
You're
crazy.
Like, it is just get the best player possible.
What's the... All right, real quick. Shout out to Dynasty Jake. Appreciate the super chat. Congrats on 2K, fellas. Thank you, Dynasty Jake, a real one. What's the what's that Jello song? I'm on swerving in the corner. Whoa. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? I was trying to think of like
I don't know where you're going.
I was trying to think of a Hornets adjacent song that could play right now with the Dynasty Jake super chat after the Hornets just sneak out.
I feel like the only musician tied to the Hornets is DaBaby, which is probably not ideal.
Let's go. I could do some DaBaby right now. But we got questions to answer, so I'll save you guys.
I will say, we want Detroit. This is for the content. This is for the content.
Nah. I'll buy 2K26. We'll play some.
When it's 3-2, Hornets up. Y'all going back to the Hive for the closeout game.
The only time it's going to be 3-2 is the start of Game 4 when Detroit's already up 3-0 in the series and the score's 3-2 because LaMelo just made a layup after Kate step back 3. That's the only time it's going to be 3-2.
The Hornets will have the best player on the court.
What did LaMelo do to Cade to make that happen? Did you grab his ankle and throw him down?
He popped his other lung.
Oh man, that was a hard time at pickup when we would always talk about Cade's lung. We were going to play. We were talking about we were looking up lung transplants. Honestly, like when I first heard that, I was like, he's done for the year. That sounds like insane.
The Panthers draft pick last year, forgot his name is not coming to me right now, but he had a collapsed lung, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is he like gonna die? Like that sounds so intense.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he'll be back. He'll be back. Give him like 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess he'll be fine. A collapsed lung sounds pretty intense.
No, you guys don't want Detroit. Trust me. Number one.
We want Detroit because if we don't get Detroit, then we're not in the playoffs. We can only get the 8th seed.
That's fair. All right. Yeah, I like. All right. Any real quick. Because I like going after the tight ends since you literally cannot get any better anywhere else. Is there any merit to doing the go get Lamar, go get Josh Allen, just considering how shallow the format actually is? Like this is shallow. We talk about shallow leagues.
I mean, probably.
Is.
I think.
Yeah.
I think if you can get Lamar or Josh Allen, I would consider it. But. Yeah, I mean, honestly, do it. I mean, like, I just look at the format. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, tier up off of Tet. And it's like, oh, cool. Like, I got Drake London, and he's still on my bench.
Oh, it might be.
Yeah,
there might be some IDP.
Like, give me an elite tight end. Give me something else, like, that I can play with here.
Does this mean there's IDP if I clicked the war chart real quick, and I see defense, DB?
There is a... This is the one league that has a team defense and a DB.
Okay.
You remember that? We were like, wait, so you start a DB, but you also have a defense.
Right. Okay. And DB, like I was trying to think if there was any impact on any of those defensive things for like the 105 pick, but I think if it's just DB is like the only slot you'd be drafting. Please don't draft a kicker.
Those are just stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like kicker, DB, and defense. You just stream them.
All right. Traded my 27 first, Tyler Algier, and Rashad White for Igbuka. Back-to-back second place in this Dynasty League and firmly contender. I think it was worth the upside. 12-team single quarterback PPR. Yeah, especially in single quarterback. I think part of what makes the 27 class so juicy and interesting for people is there's a lot more hope on the QB class versus obviously this year, where, you know, it wouldn't surprise people if we have. Now, there's some interesting math you have to do if you're going to slot in, you know, 4 rookie quarterbacks that are taken in the first round next year and how many teams have openings. But I think you could very easily do some math with the Steelers, the Jets, the Browns. Like, we already are pushing, you know, 3-4 teams. So I think single quarterback, I like this move, especially if you're firmly a contender. I'm down to make the Igbuka bet. Are you with it?
Yeah, I think so.
Firmly in contender too, I think is a big part where Igbuka is not the
at first
final
I'm like,
piece
27, but being a firm contender, you're like Algier, Rashad White, like sure, Algier could be decent, but yeah, I don't mind saying PPR, give me the Igbuka upside. I do feel like he is kind of a rich version of like Matthew Golden, where it's like, oh, like the sentiment that in value don't technically correlate to the production and consistency that we would want from someone of that price tag. So you are paying up for someone that could kind of bottom out a little bit. That being said, without Mike Evans there, that offense is going to be an offense we haven't seen in a long time, of a true Bucs offense with no Mike Evans. So I imagine Igbuka will be, you know, a true focal point in that offense. So I don't mind doing that. Late 27, Algier and Rashad White. Rashad White is just kind of a throw-in too.
Yeah. Watching from Tornado Warning, willing to die for Dynasty. Same here. Shout out to all my Michiganders. I just pulled up.
Oh, dang. Are y'all got a tornado warning?
I have a tornado. I have a double whammy: tornado watch, flood warning. So a little some double time going on.
We're gonna bring back the kitchen streams.
My wife was reading me in the car. She was telling me, oh gosh, she was reading the yeah. I saw Minnesota. I think Minnesota did one touchdown last night. Let me know, Kyle. I think I saw that. Spooky stuff, man.
Did Tornado Alley move?
I'm in my basement right now, but my wife was reading the report and it was like recommend unplugging all electronics you know, tonight, and I was just thinking, nah, man, I gotta talk about Dynasty. I'm not unplugging these electronics.
Yeah,
I gotta keep my camera, my light on, so I can. Yep.
I will say too. I did hear Detroit has a Hornets warning as well.
Okay. All right. This guy. I cannot wait, guys. Oof. Honestly, I'm happy that we have. I think this Detroit team post that Roughneck series in the playoffs, Bickerstaff's got these boys playing hard. You're in the basement. You're good. All right, I appreciate it. You stay safe, Riley. Are you in a basement as well? You don't have to tell me where you live. Just the location.
Some
of the
basement
house.
boys. Drop a pin in the chat.
Mark yourself safe in the Discord. Link in the description.
Yeah, mark yourself safe. Mark yourself safe on Dynasty Daddy.
What's up, Walt? 10-team Superflex PPR. Start 10. I see tight end 1. You think that's like a full point tight end premium?
I think it's tight end premium.
Okay. Got offered.
Yeah.
I don't think a tight end has anything to do with this trade, but good thing we verified that. Got offered Javonte.
Yeah.
And the 26. I need to read that.
The next comment is tight end premium. He said it was a typo.
Oh, okay. So. I get the 406. You make a tight end bet there. All right. Javonte and the 406 for Godwin and Dowdle have Igbuka. So I want to trade Godwin, but am I giving up too much value for Javonte? Torn on what Dowdle's real value is. Ooh, I kind of the 10-team start 10 is interesting. I think if it was deeper, I would take the Godwin Dowdle side like more easily. just because I am willing to bet on Godwin being like an impactful receiver in like a 12 by 10, for a season or two more, especially post Evans. But you get the Javonte contract. Like, that's a little bit more.
And it's a good offense. And last year we saw Javonte put up not just good weeks, but great weeks. I mean, everyone was like, he was one of the steals of last season. So I feel perfectly fine doing that. I mean, I think Godwin's all right, but he's definitely on the latter half of his career. So you're probably not expecting significant production from him. And then Dowdle is all right, but you still have Warren there. You have Caleb Johnson. No, just kidding. But there's still. It's not like Dowdle's walking into being, a true RB1 like Javonte.
I do think best case he has a Javonte-like role, and it's for a way worse offense. So. I'm with it. I think if it was a deeper league, I'd probably make more of a push for the Godwin side, but I think in a 10 by 10, there's Godwins aplenty across your bench, I assume.
Yeah.
Zach K. Lover. Should I take Marv, a 27 first and 28 first, both projected mid for JSN, or should I ask for more? Two firsts and a Marv type is probably the JSN price, and I don't even know if I'm taking it. I'm going to be honest. There's just something about, I think I need to know the format. Like, I need to know how many starters.
I need it to be at least like 12 teams, start 10 for me to be like, maybe. And like, is my team desperate for talent? Like, is it just JSN and a bunch of trash cans?
Right.
Then sure, I'd maybe consider it. I can split it and get 3 starters out of it. But if my team is like anywhere near like on the come up or good, I'm like, I'm all right. It's not like one of those. If the 27 was early or something, then sure, I'd be like, okay, that's a much more enticing offer.
Yeah.
But we're talking about like wide receiver 1 last year, like absolutely, killed it and going to get. I think he got the contract, right? Or I think he's going to. I don't know if they have extended.
Oh, JSN? Yeah. I think it's always tough when they do these like this is. I think it's like
he's
pretty
much.
There. It's like all but signed if it's not actually signed.
And he's going to be tied to a good offensive situation, good defense. Oh, okay, much.
Massive rebuild.
14 team Superflex. Oh, that is real deep. I think I might take it then. I'm in a massive rebuild.
Here's the thing.
Do you try
JSN,
to push it?
Here's the thing with like this is a decent offer for sure in a deep enough league. 2 firsts plus like the Marv bet is a totally decent offer. Whenever I'm moving, like I think people will overutilize this player has hit the trade block when it's like whatever random 34-year-old wide receiver has 80 yards and a touchdown for a week and he hits a trade block across every single dynasty league. But when you're trading
the Romeo Dobbs on the trade block in every league.
When you're trading these like first round dynasty startup pick assets, I need every single manager to know I am willing to move this player for multiple firsts plus, whatever type player you want. Oh gosh, I just so yeah, as long as everybody knows and you have like exhausted your options as far as how much value you can get, like can you get 3 firsts from a team? Like is there a team in your league that is a super team type and has acquired, draft value and has a bunch of teams future 27 picks that you can, get those plus a different Marv bet?
I think too, like in a 14 team league, like what does the mid look like? Is it like, oh, it's the 109s?
Yeah.
Or is it like, oh, this is actually the 105? Like I think that's also something I would seriously consider, because if you are moving JSN, they're going to get better, but they're not going to get as better if it was like a 10 team, 12 team, start 10 or something. Like a JSN is not going to have as much of an impact when you have to start 12 players in a 14 team league.
Yeah. Man, JSN's 24 too. Like, just all right. Rossini or the 303. I was thinking about, we haven't, sometimes we'll do the news breakdowns. I don't know if I had an angle on like the impact I'm not going to get too tinfoil hat on like
I
how
don't
the situation impacts AJ
Yeah.
Brown. Like I don't get too deep into that side. I think it's a little bit more on the this is how the world works side.
Honestly, I think the biggest winner out of it all is
Twitter readers.
Travion Henderson. Because
You know he's a
he
faithful
was
man.
he was absolutely getting roasted on the timelines before for some comments he made, and then this story just like no one remembers it anymore. So that my only takeaway is like Henderson's like, hey, thanks, coach. Like I'm not getting all the heat on me anymore.
And Vrabel, we'll see. I wonder when the next time we'll see Vrabel, because I think he skipped his like next presser or whatever he had set up. Yeah, that's all I have on that. And stay safe.
They should bring back Belichick.
Stay safe there in Southeast Wisconsin. They should bring back Mayo. All right, inbox offer. I receive Cook, Chig. I send late 27 first, their own. Derrick Henry and McLaurin. What's the move? I don't think I'm doing that. And I love James Cook.
I don't feel like I need to do it now.
It's just it's moving your own first, and like yes, give me Cook over Henry, this next year and beyond. But it's like that Henry McLaurin move. I mean, I'm curious what the roster looks like, obviously outside of after you move Derrick Henry and Terry McLaurin. But I don't know how much better you're making your starting lineup with like minus Henry McLaurin plus James Cook, and you moved off your own 27 first. And it's a 12 by 10. No tight end premium.
I think to me, I'm just holding, like the only trades I'm super motivated to make right now are trades where it's like, oh, I have the 107 that I want to move, and I don't want to have to take that pick.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, why can't I do this week 6?
Yeah,
and I know my team's going to be good.
And maybe like the context we don't have here, Savvy, is like your team is so insane that you have the assets to be like, I am already close to super team status. So like I want to get the upgrade to James Cook where I can kind of bet on this 3-4 years longer than I can bet on Derrick Henry and Terry McLaurin mattering for me. I kind of get that angle, like especially if you talk about your own first being late and calling that out, but I don't know. I'd be a little nervous losing that flexibility and not getting that much more production for this next year. All right, I know. Wait, let me double check something real quick. We do have to hit. Let's finish on the Kyle question. I did not forget.
Yeah, the Kyle top 3 wide receivers.
All right, what do you think is more visually appealing? Tankathon is usually my go-to to just look at the teams and the pick order. You think mock draft database looks prettier? The only thing with that is you see the players.
I think mock draft Tankathon's easy to see, like the draft order. Yeah. I think mock draft database, it has it like the consensus board is probably better to track likely landing spots than I don't know how Tankathon calculates the draft order.
I think they just picked a random order. Somebody on staff is just like this.
Yeah, some guys. Yeah.
All right, I will pull up the consensus mock draft here. Let's do this.
Yeah, it looks like Cardinal Tate to Cleveland. Mekhi Lemon to Miami. Ooh. Jordan Tyson to the Rams.
All right. Wait, 1 week? Are you on the 1 week?
I have no idea.
I don't know if it matters. All right, so the question, just to give some additional context to what we're looking at right here. I guess we should probably start here. The order of our top 3 right now, if we were drafting pre-draft. To me, I think, and this is a really interesting class for a lot of reasons, and I think there are a lot of different, I don't think any of the 3 wide receiver prospects are like insanely clear of one another, because I think there's a lot of things you could point to as far as like peak for Tyson production for Tate versus like eye test stuff, then Lemon, obviously production this last year, but you also have to kind of factor in like the role you expect Lemon to play. Like, I think it's a really interesting class. To me, I am probably Tate, Lemon, Tyson is my current order. Where are you at right now? If you had a pre-draft.
Okay. I mean, I agree with the sentiment that you have. I think all three serve different roles. And this is kind of the interesting part. I think I'm probably lowest on Tate. I think not talent-wise in the NFL, but I think fantasy-wise, it's going to be harder for him to be an impactful fantasy producer at an elite level.
Yeah.
I see Mekhi Lemon is that like PPR scam with the Amon-Ra upside. So it's like you could either be early career Wayndale, who's still just 1,000 yards, 100 catches, and you're like, oh, well, like it's still relevant.
Yeah.
All the way up to that crazy upside. But then there's also like the Tyson has the upside of like the true elite guys. Like he is super explosive. The injuries are the biggest knock on him, but his ceiling is so high. So I do lean kind of towards where Kyle is at, where I'm like, I think Lemon's number one just because I see him as that PPR scammer fantasy production wise is probably the safest floor. Because how he's going to be used is just going to be peppered with targets.
Yeah.
Whereas Tate's going to have games where it's like 12 catches, 160 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And he's going to have others that are probably like 2 catches for 40 yards. And it's just because he's more down the field, not as much like, in between the numbers and such.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm I will take any plus. Anyone's like, I bet Lemon is better than Tate. I'll trade you Tate in the third for Lemon. I'll be like, okay, give me whoever you don't want, because all these guys are so close. But I do agree with Kyle. I think I would go Lemon. Then I'd go with Tyson with the upside. I think Tyson, if healthy, would be my wide receiver 1. And then lastly, a good Tate. I like Tate. He didn't have a massive target share. And I know you say competition and all that at Ohio State. And yes, there was a lot of other good wide receivers there, but all of them demanded more target share than him. Right? Like they also, like Olave also was competing against JSN and Marv and, Jeremiah Smith and all these guys. I don't know if Jeremiah Smith was playing, but they've had so many good wide receivers. If you're an Ohio State wide receiver, you're going against, everyone goes against amazing talent there.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's a huge, point for why his target share is bad. I just think he's kind of very role specific, but that role is a role that every team needs.
Yeah.
So I feel better with him if he lands on like the Browns, because I'm like, well, Tate, like the Browns still need a receiver like Tate. I could see like Mekhi Lemon going to the Browns and being just utilized the wrong way and being kind of a mess. So, like a spot like the Miami Lemon landing spot would be amazing, because it's like, I know that offense is going to needs that type of guy to come in and be that, PPR scam artist. And I don't care. I don't care how ethical the PPR points come. I just want those PPR points. So right now, that's where I'm at. I think landing spots will certainly change things. If Tyson goes higher, like this mock draft has him at 15. If he's up in that range, I mean, hell, I'm going to probably be the guy saying, hey, trade down, take Tyson, like try to get down and take Tyson, because that's just going to be a great bet on the value, and you can risk the injuries on all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mentioned it, the Tate stuff, and this is a good shout too. Tate is a Pickens type who is very QB dependent. Tyson similar by Justin Moore. Lemon is just him. The Tate stuff, I do think that, like, if I was in a debate with Ben Shapiro on who, the best wide receiver is in the class, and, he was throwing facts at me, I definitely would have to lean on the feelings of the eye test, where, like, the way that you feel about Pickens and T. Higgins, as far as, like, these receivers that are can just make plays on the ball. These just, like, contested catch, these, like, 50-50 balls turn into 80-20 balls. Like, Tate is that guy for me. But I do like Lemon a lot. And I think the landing spot stuff, so I know you mentioned them all being pretty close together. So I wonder, let's do a little exercise. I'm trying to think of the best way to formulate this. We should do, so with your current order, if it was Browns, Tate, Lemon, Dolphins, Tyson, Rams, I assume you would keep Tate third in terms of, even though like the first wide receiver drafted, just in terms of situation landing spot, where you get Lemon, wide open Dolphins, and then Tyson just, I know the 1 year bet with Adams, if he's still there, is tough, but I think long term you'd feel pretty good about Tyson, Rams.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's one of the spots where it's like, okay, I feel decent about Tyson, because then he also doesn't have to go in there and be the wide receiver one right away. Like, they can make sure he's healthy, and then he comes into a hyper efficient offense that loves to hyper target their guys.
Yeah,
and I mean, Puka Nacua had injury concerns, and we saw how that played out. Like, I'm not saying Jordan Tyson's Puka Nacua, but we could have, okay, he's over his injury issues and he just gets, doesn't run into the injury bug, because a lot of that is kind of not luck based, but kind of, unlucky based. Like, you just kind of unfortunately run into it sometimes.
Let me hit you with one either or question. All right, Lemon, Dolphins, or Tate, Chiefs.
I think I'll go Tate, Chiefs there.
Okay, because my follow up was going to be Tyson.
I feel
Chiefs.
Like Tate with I mean, if anyone lands on the Chiefs, I'm just going to be excited.
Yeah,
because those big three wide receivers. I mean, I think Lemon and Rice would be frustrating the most, but like if Tyson or Tate landed on the Chiefs, like, Andy Reid's going to scheme it well. Patrick Mahomes is going, like, we haven't had, and like we had a little bit with Worthy, where like Worthy was able to stretch the field, but we haven't had like a true down the field threat a long time there.
Dude, the
and
Worthy,
like having a Tyson or Tate would be amazing.
I don't even want to look at the metrics of like the Mahomes downfield accuracy completions to Worthy, and it's not even all on Worthy. A lot of those have been, it's just, man, Tate catching those balls, but the balls would actually be caught. I'll just say that. But wait, Matt Waldman has to be pretty sold on Tate, but if he's in Cleveland, I think what's really interesting is you could even go, I think starting at 4 here with the Titans would not surprise me if we get a wide receiver 4th to the Titans, 5th to the Giants, 6th to the Browns. I mean, all the way through Commanders at 7,
Browns
Saints at 8.
Somebody.
Yeah, Chiefs at 9. I mean, Bengals, I think would be a little bit surprising. Just in terms of like needing to attack defense. But Dolphins 11. I mean, we'll see with the Cowboys. My assumption is they bring back Pickens, but and go elsewhere. But Rams have been, there's been mocks with the receivers going there. I know people have been talking about the Ravens too, like the Jets. Like, there are so many picks in the top 16 that could be these wide receiver landing spots. How close are we to the draft? Was it 9 days? We do have some.
So, yeah.
Shout out to Ferd here. Did I cook with my trade in Bravo Daddy? I'll have to pull that up. I had some pretty juicy Bravo Daddy trades as well. Maybe we end on the Bravo Daddy Will Yap session. Tyson's trade liquidity.
Always have one of those.
This is a good shout too. Tyson's trade liquidity scares me. So many of my league mates fade players with these injury narratives. I don't mind betting on them myself, but they're hard to move off of. And sometimes it just makes sense. Like, in terms of the way your team's constructed, teams, you're contending, and like Tyson on the Rams is like exciting, but like if Adams is still there and Puka obviously, and they're still rolling out the 2 tight end sets, like he's probably not going to produce year 1. But if he goes, is a top 15 pick and goes to the Rams, like you would be able to move off of most wide receivers that go in that range. Do you think the injury stuff will follow him if we get top 15 draft capital and there isn't any kind of flare-ups through training camp? Do you think it'll stick with him for the rookie year?
I think it will until he goes out and has like an amazing year. And I think if he goes out and crushes it, then it's like, okay, who cares? But I think regardless, he's going to be like the 104 or 105. Like, I don't think people are going to really take Tyson over Tate or Lemon just because we know Tate and Lemon are healthy.
All right,
by the time you're doing rookie drafts, you're not going to know how healthy Tyson is.
All right, all caps definitely catches my eye. Don't use it too much, guys. But it does catch the eye. What's the order here? Schrager's most recent mock: Tyson to the Chiefs, Tate to Miami, and Lemon to the Rams. Ooh. Oh man, that's pushing me to the test because it's making me decide between Malik Willis.
It's like the three interesting landing spots. Ooh. I do feel like Tate would be last for me here, just because I'm like, is Malik Willis going to be able to give him a consistent amount of volume for me to like that? And then Lemon at the Rams, you're like, okay, but is he going to be impactful year one?
I might go Tate
Tyson on the Chiefs.
Oh man, this is so tough. This is killing me. That's like tough. Pushing my landing spots to the test.
That is tough.
I mean, I think that I would be, if I'm sitting there at the 102, I am 100% asking to trade back. Is really my real answer to this question.
Well, yeah, that's I every league I have like the 105. I'm like, cool. I don't have to make the pick. Like I just whoever's there when I'm there, I'll just take them. I don't have to worry about
just because like I would not
my shot.
I like Tate enough, and I think what we've seen Malik Willis with like his downfield passing with the Packers, I would be excited enough to take the bet. But I think I would be a fool to not take the, oh my goodness, Patrick Mahomes just got a receiver, 9th overall. Yeah. Dang, that's a juicy one. Got the 102 and 103, very fun for me. I actually just moved off the 103 in Bravo Daddy, coming out of a 1 year punt. Worst to first is what we're calling the team. Not actually. I think it's kind of corny to name your team stuff like that, but I'll pull that up. But here we got a Mac Daddy Pro. Mac Daddy Pro. How about first in and still hanging? 2 hours and 13 minutes in. Shout out to Mac Daddy Pro. Appreciate
some dedication.
That's some watch time right there. Let's go. Heck yeah. Big for the algorithm. Appreciate that.
We're all here for the watch time.
Hit the like. I forgot. 2 hours and 13 minutes
the in. Classic. Hit the like.
Still
2 hours in.
Just still. Yeah. My bad. All right. Any ideas on what team can give us the yearly jaw-dropping moment in the draft? Like, loved into the. I don't know how like crazy. I mean, Penix to the Falcons, I think, was way more jaw-dropping than loved into the Bears, but definitely.
I think it would be like Arizona or Tennessee take Love, like running back top 5.
I almost think that like the Giants being the love team, in terms of like why pick. Let's see. I think it would be. I think the Ty Simpson being like a first rounder. I mean, he did get the invite, but I think
he is going to be a first rounder
for a lot of people. It still will be jaw dropping whenever it happens. I think.
Like, I doubt. I expect Pittsburgh to take Ty Simpson.
Dang. All right.
Because they need a quarterback. They have Aaron Rodgers going to darkness retreats and filming pyramid conspiracy theory documentaries. Like
they needed a quarterback when they took Kenny Pickett in the same spot too. But yeah, I get it, and I don't think Ty Simpson is terrible or anything. But
I think there's a few teams that like I could see them just being like, yeah, we'll take Ty Simpson and see how it goes. Like the Jets. The Jets have 2 picks. I bet they would do it. The Cleveland Browns at 24, like they might be like, screw it.
Yeah.
Like, what else are we dealing with? Like, I mean, their GM was even like, I think we should take a quarterback every single draft.
Yeah. I think the wide receivers, honestly, like the wide receiver shouts I would make are already kind of moved up. Like we already have Cooper mid-first. And like
He's
Casey
been going up
Concepcion,
fast.
who I would have as like a late first guy, is like pretty commonly mocked there. So I don't even know if any of the receivers would be like crazy. It probably would be like a defensive guy falling, honestly. I know, like the Ruben Bain, Laramie Tunzel.
Well, he did have that that story come out where he like killed somebody or something. Got in like an automotive accident.
Jeez, how many? This is like the 4th killed somebody mention we've got from Jeremy this stream. Is everything going all right over there? It's accurate. I just wanted to check.
I don't mince my words, you know. It's
Yeah,
we
true.
don't put asterisks in our curse words. We're not gonna say unalived. I think we can all take it.
There we go. Good job. Yeah, we're 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Under 12-year-old viewers are in bed. All right, 10 teams start 8, and I'm gonna do a little transition to the closure. Oh, this is an interesting one. Star Wars first round capital. That one would be fun though. Think about how much funner that would be for rookie drafts.
That would be a good one. I do like that
going
one.
where I think he's gonna go. All right, 10 teams start 8. What pick would you need on top of Higgins to move the 103 in need of wide receiver help? Pick. All right, let's do in this class.
I will say it is a little funny, I guess. Like you're like, I need wide receiver help, so I'm trading a good wide receiver.
Oh wait, are you reading it as you're moving?
What would I need to put on top of T to move? Oh wait, no, I read it the other way.
To move the 103. But I mean, it is kind of interesting because it's a wide receiver that you would be taking at that shot as well. And it's the second choice too in terms of like draft capital. But it's a 10 team start 8 also.
I feel like honestly, a 10-team start 8 makes me want to take the pick more.
Yeah.
Because what is T. Higgins in a 10-team start 8? Like he's all right, but he's not like can't miss. And I'm not saying Tate, Lemon, Tyson are going to be can't miss, but there's a chance that they are going to be. Versus a 27-year-old wide receiver with 6 years experience. Yeah, I'm not trying to say T. Higgins isn't going to be good, but I think we know what T. Higgins is.
Yeah. And this
is
is
a solid, decent wide receiver, but he's like a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3-ish range.
Yeah, I just pulled up here. I mean, he's in terms of like trades happening right now. 105, 106 pick value range on Dynasty Daddy. 105 pick, mid 26 first, or I mean, that would just be like the 106, 107. Yeah, I think getting to have the second shot of like landing spots where you get to kind of avoid the nastiest, like if one of those wide receivers gets the Jets that people have been kind of pegging into the 102, 103, 104. I think I'd probably rather have the pick.
Yeah, I would just hold on to the pick because even if worst case you whiff, it's like you at least took a shot on someone in a shallow format that has a chance of mattering.
Yeah.
Whereas T. Higgins probably barely matters in this format.
Mm-hmm.
You got to shoot upside, Mr. Upside.
Yes, upside junkie. I'm not a big like phrase coiner. I don't know if I want that to be like what I'm claiming and owning. Wait, can I go to?
Well, sometimes the phrases choose you.
Yeah, that's true. That's who I am. All right, I'm trying to pull up the Bravo Daddy League.
I mean, that being said, you also got the humble genius thing kind of working against you as well.
That's true. That was a good one though. That's the tongue-in-cheek ones. I'm down. I guess upside junkie I can claim as tongue-in-cheek. That's okay. All right, we're closing here on some Bravo Daddy leagues. If you guys are not aware, all right, I don't know. We should have probably done this at the start, but the waiver claim functionality is live, right? For everybody. That was rolled out initially to the Dynasty Daddy Club members, But this is so what all is live right now to everyone?
Everything is.
Bang. So we've got the waiver claim, everything we walked through, this activity board that we're going to take a look at. So right here, clicking on trades, and I'll shout out to Ferd. Pop it in the chat. FSander72 here. Did FSander72 cook with Wayne Buckler, who actually was involved in both the trades? Wayne Buckler's been doing
Wayne has been cooking.
He's been cooking.
Wayne has made 3 trades.
Has made 3 trades, and I love this kind of move. Put in the chat very much like contenders. If you're trying to move your picks for competing players right now, hit me up pre-draft. I want a deal done now. I love that. So I had a couple deals done. One with him, but which are you taking? James Cook in the 104 or Kyle Pitts, Judkins, 27 first and a 27 second, both from Ferd's own team, and Ferd definitely is a contender. I believe was second this year. Has a pretty strong team. Drake May, Goff, James Cook, Chase Brown, McMillan, J-Mo, Devontae Adams, Ladd, Brock Bowers in a 0.75 tenant premium. So definitely not like a killer, but definitely a strong contender. All right,
yeah, I mean, I think that pick has a chance of being like a 105 to 108, but that's still good for a rebuilder.
Yeah,
like right. Wayne Buckler makes sense, but I do think that's a pretty good return for what you sent. Right, you got injured rookie running back Kyle Pitts, a second and an early first. You got a early first back and James Cook. I think the big question is you got to continue to build out that running back room, or I think it might be a flex. I don't know how many we got to start. Okay, so it's a flex spot. So never mind. You don't have to. You just, I mean, you kind of just stack the running back or the wide receiver room and roll with it.
And this 104 pick too, which is kind of nice too, to have this 104 shot and not having to, I mean, potentially plugging it in, right? If you're going to be starting 5 receivers here with Devontae, J-Mo, Ladd, T-Mac, those 2 running backs, but I think a good move overall. Now let's take a look at the other trade, and this was I mean, if you thought that trade was a big boy trade, buckle up. Wayne, buckle up real quick here. All right, this is a beast.
Wayne got a big fleece.
All right, the 103, a lot of picks. 27 second, 310, 103, 27 second, 27 first, 401. Bryce Young, Josh Downs, Sean Tucker. The main pieces on the other side, obviously Ashton Genty. So the first and the 103 you're looking at. The main force of that trade was for Ashton Genty, 204 CJ Stroud, DK Metcalf, Chris Godwin. Additional context, moving those picks. Coming out of a rebuild. I'm doing. Look at this team, man. Look at this team. All right, T-Law Stroud.
I will say, giving up your early 27 first, kind of big.
All right, guys, let's read off this early 27 first team. All right, T-Law Stroud. All right, whatever. Fine QB room. Bijan, Genty. Wait, Dave Montgomery? No. Jeremiah Love. We have the 101 here. Then Nico, DK. And this was kind of why, like, adding in DK and Godwin, I kind of liked with this deal when it was obviously centered around Genty. Because, and it makes sense for Wayne, too, moving off of, Godwin, DK, older receivers that aren't like super impactful, but would matter for a team that has this wide receiver room. But I've got Nico, DK, then like Pearsall, Shaheed, Godwin. I should be able to piece together, 3 wide receivers in this group. And then obviously tight end 1 in Dynasty, Colson Loveland in a 0.75 tight end premium. Still have the 110, 201, 204. Maybe not done making moves, but moving off the 27 picks. What do you think? Too much to just try to build the sexiest running back room in the league?
No, I mean, I think it's good. I think it's good value. The 103, you already had the 101. Your team's going to be pretty solid. You shift that one off. The seconds are nice. I get him saying, hey, give me an early 26, and I can take a bet on your team, maybe potentially giving me a mid first next year, something like that.
Especially when you have multiple 27 picks. Like he's betting against like me competing with Ferd and maybe, one of our teams.
Yeah, like both of y'all are going to be competing. First. Yeah, so it's easy to kind of piece it together to be like, wait, this team might fall apart. Like, one of these teams is not going to live up to expectations. Not everyone can be the 112. So I get why he did it. You got to sell off what you want to sell off. But I think locking in Ashton Genty, Jeremiah Love, you said you had Bijan as well, right? Yeah, I mean, you the Bijan trade. Have the core.
Shout out to Tricky Trev. And I didn't even do this on purpose, but when I scrolled out here, you see the other trade that went down where I got Colston Loveland and Bijan with that Neighbors fan in 107 trade.
A Harold Fannin piece.
No, I'm excited. I have never had a team that's built this strongly through the running back room. So hopefully next year's the year the elite running back as well. And those guys are just absolutely smashing. And the 110.
I hope for you as well. I hope Ashton Genty lives up to the hype.
Yeah. Hey, had to get off of Bryce Young, man. Tearing up to CJ Stroud was big.
Huge tear up there, Ed.
Yeah, massive. I'm just gonna pretend this was 2 years ago. CJ Stroud prices. QB gets hurt. You could be. Oh, whoa! I had Deshaun Watson here. I got the Browns starter. No, I ideally the way I like to build these teams, and the trade I regret the most last year is I moved off of Geno and Mac Jones in season for some I think it was second, third swap picks, which at the time I think were totally fair value, and I think wouldn't even feel that bad now. But I like building my contending teams very deep at the QB3 spot. Not in terms of necessarily starters, but in terms of guys that could be starters.
The amount. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
you never know who's going to get injured or not.
Yeah. So I would probably ideally, because I moved off of some of my 27 seconds, I would probably be interested in moving. If these picks aren't turning into wide receiver upgrades for my team, I wouldn't mind moving them into future, picks, whether it's 110 plus a player for a future first or the 201, 204, moving these for future seconds, so that I have some more flexibility in season since my 27 picks are only the third and the fourth now after those moves. But still, definitely doesn't feel bad starting Bijan, Genty, and Jeremiah.
I know you built quite the running back room this offseason.
I can't wait for them to all disappoint, except for Bijan. I don't see a universe. He gets Brian Robinson gets the first Falcons goal line touchdown.
Brian Robinson comes back.
Yeah. Hey, I've got him too. Okay, I'll just start both of them. That'll be what I do with the flex spot. That'll be my super flex spot when CJ Stroud's on bye week.
That'll be like my Scott Fishbowl team where I had both Chuba and Rico Dowdle, and I'm well, I'm just gonna start both of them.
That ended up being a banker though.
First half was.
Appreciate you all. Thank you for hanging. Next week, we will be 2 days before the NFL draft for next week's stream. Dang, let's go. And then we'll have the reaction stream. We'll have that up and scheduled. Probably we've kind of talked about it Sunday night?
Yeah, I think last year we did Sunday night.
Because we just did right after the last round ended the next day.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good. I know the shout out to the Destination Debbie crew. I know they rip the draft content while it's live. All rounds, I think.
Yeah. I popped on one of their streams before and they're like, oh yeah, we're 6 hours in. I'm like, oh my gosh. They're like, what do you think about Jesse James? I'm like, I don't know, man.
Just check out the site, guys. We'll be posting the ADPs that come through when the rookie drafts start happening.
Let my site tell me how to think.
Appreciate you all. Looking forward to it. It is the most wonderful time of the year for a lot of reasons. Obviously the NFL draft, but I do think that, obviously rookie drafts start right after the NFL draft for the most part, and then league activity alongside that gets bumped up. And man, when the NFL draft
Yeah,
happens,
the month before summer, right? Like all of May is just like a madhouse for fantasy leagues, dynasty leagues, all of that.
mm-hmm. Real quick, did you get the 101 from finishing last or from a trade? I was the most aggressive tanker immediately. This was actually the first year, this last year.
The answer is yes. He did get last.
Bravo, Daddy, on purpose. Bravo, Daddy. So this was one of the Discord community leagues we're going to be doing more. We'll post in the Discord post NFL draft when we're getting signups for those going. But we had 3 last year, Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. This was the Bravo Daddy League, and I think I got 2 future firsts out of the startup by trading back. So I was pretty set on tanking pretty early and ended up making some moves. I like got Neighbors when he got hurt in season, a lot of those kind of trades to get a lot of the assets that I then turned into, getting Bijan on this team, trading for Gency, obviously. But yeah, we'll see. The 1-year punt, it's going to be interesting to look at. It's been my favorite strategy in startups, just because I think people get so excited to trade up to get their guys, the last of the tiers, and me, obviously the humble genius. I know what I don't know, and I'm willing to trade back. But I think it'll be interesting with the 27 picks being the currency,
the catchphrase coiner.
Yeah, the 27 picks being the currency that people will want to acquire and hold so dear and valuable to their hearts. It might be harder to do these okay, I'll trade back, 3-4 rounds. You give me your 27 first. You might get some. No way, brother. I need to go higher. I need to be pushing into the 3rd round if I'm moving 27 first. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. This is real quick. Great final question. Where do you want love to land if you could pick? Not the Giants. Is honestly
the Titans.
Honestly, if the Titans don't bring Pollard back and it's Spears and what they got, Michael Carter there now. Ideally, my number 1 pick would be the Commanders. I would love him to fall to 7. Dude, somebody prominent posted a mock where he went to the Chiefs recently. What? You ever just pay a ton of money to a running back in free agency and then draft a 9th overall?
It's like the Saints. I think both those teams signing him means that it's going to be early. If they wouldn't sign A-Chain or Kenneth Walker if they thought he would fall to them.
Yeah. I think my order would be Commanders, realistic order, because I don't think he's falling past the top 10. I wouldn't imagine. Commanders 1, Titans 2, Giants 3, and I really wouldn't put any of the other top 10 teams in realistic draft love territory. I mean, I guess the Bengals could. That wouldn't be shocking. I mean, P. Ryan had a pretty prominent role. They might just kind of do the whole 2-back system thing, but yeah, that would be my order. All right. Jeremy, any closing words before I go potty?
Not really. You summed it up pretty well. I appreciate everyone for joining the stream. We got more coming every single Tuesday, as well as the special draft stream. Also got lots of updates. We got the right back update with all the waiver claims, all that stuff. But got more stuff coming soon. So stay tuned to that. I'll be making sure to post on my socials and in Discord too, keeping everyone up to date with all these updates.
And there's a recent YouTube video that was posted on the channel that kind of talks through some of the changes that were just implemented and added. So definitely check that out. And join the Discord if you're not in there, because Jeremy does an awesome job of posting all those updates as they're coming through. All right. Got here late. We'll see you next stream. Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you. Join the Discord if you're not in there. We'll see you in there. Peace.
Appreciate it.